it's a good time to start. It's a great pleasure to welcome you all to this 13th International Conference on Sustainable Solid Waste Management in this beautiful island in Kos. The conference has become, I would say, a very important annual meeting point for many of us, researchers, academics, professionals, industry representatives, and we would like all of us to thank you for joining again. I would like to pass the floor to Professor Maria Loizidou from National Technical University of Athens, being the founder, I would say, and the driving force for this conference series. So, Professor Maria Loizidou, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Professor Malamis. Thank you, colleagues Kostas and Dimitris, for your efforts for this conference. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the scientific and organizing committees, I am pleased to welcome you to the COS 13 International Conference on Sustainable Waste Management. As in the cases of the previous international conferences, the COS 2026 13th International Conference aims to make an advance in the field of waste management through the promotion of innovative technologies and effective practices. We are happy to announce that the series of our conferences keeps attracting the attention of the academia, private and public sector, local authorities, and businesses. This is proven by the gradual increase in the numbers of participants, the participating countries, the abstract received, and the papers presented during the conference. We expect to have about 1,000 participants, including both virtual participants and in physical presence traveling to COS. It is the fourth time that our conference travels to South Aegean. And for the people that are not aware of the districts of Greece, the South Aegean, the region, has 52 islands that have population, and many other islands, over 300, that they don't have population. It's a huge region with a very dispersed islands in the sea. We had also conferences in the region. We had the TINOS conference in 2015, we had the Naxos in 2018, and we had in Rhodes 2024. These three islands also belong to the region of South Aegean. Every year, significant efforts is made to improve the quality of the papers that will be presented and keep high standards. For us, the academia, the high standard is very important, but also for the society to give answers to their problems. At the same time, the efforts are continuous in order to achieve high-quality services for the conference participants. It is also important to mention the introduction of for the first time, of the second summer school on the life cycle assessment for the management of waste. We have tools that we have to use how to manage our waste. So for the first time, we introduced these life cycle assessment processes to assess whatever we do. But also we keep on with the 8 summer schools that we have for circular economy and the training of people. So we get a lot of people from all over the world for these summer schools. They already started on Monday and they finished, but they will continue with some theses that they have to prepare. The COS 2026 conference aims to stimulate the interest of the scientific community, competent authorities like the authorities you have in front of us, the public and the private sector, including the local authorities, financial institutions, policymakers and society, and present the latest developments and achievements in the field of solid waste management with special emphasis on municipal solid waste, waste prevention, source separation, recycling and production of secondary materials, biological treatment, aerobic composting, which is well known, anaerobic to produce biogas. The treatment at central facilities constitute priority subjects of the conference agenda. Attention is drawn to the bioprocesses, biorefineries to replace the old-type refineries with fossil fuels for the waste management, and to close all the loops in a circularity so we can really follow the regulations of circular economy and bioeconomy in parallel. Also, waste to energy, which is just before landfilling, the pre-final stage for waste management treatment, in collaboration with Waste to Energy Research and Technology Council, which was founded by Columbia University, Professor Themelis, and we are the satellite in Greece for this council, is a co-organizer of the conference. Emphasis is placed on circular economy in all key action areas. It's not only waste, it's production, consumption, waste management, secondary raw materials, innovation, investment and monitoring, and also all priority sectors like food waste, plastics, biomass and bio-based products, construction and demolition waste, critical raw materials, and textiles, which is very important as well. The conference will provide an opportunity to bring together scientists and professionals from government departments, industries, municipalities, private institutions, research and education institutions, being a forum for the exchange of the most recent ideas, techniques, and experiences in a broad area of waste management. A special session will focus on solid waste management and the role of local authorities and municipalities, which is very crucial. It's where we produce our waste. So we have a special, the first session, we have parallel sessions. The first session will be for these authorities to exchange ideas and see what is happening and see new cases and the success stories. We need to promote separation at source and taking advantage of both recyclable materials and bio-waste, increasing the recycling rates in the framework of circular economy, promote energy recovery from residues, and get closer to the ambitious target of Brussels. We have in front of us, Mr. Miloukas, the target of 10% landfilling with the support of financial incentives such as the landfill tax and the pay-as-you-throw schemes. The conference agenda is rich and dense, offering a considerable variety of topics presented through more than 500 presentations and extensive poster sessions, about 190 posters. In addition, it is our intention to enlarge the conference benefits and increase the networking potentials of the participants by introducing parallel sessions and events for ongoing projects prior to the conference and also within the conference agenda. Just for this year, we have altered quite a lot our conference to introduce things so we can connect with scientists. We had the kick-off meeting of BioHeaven, it's a Horizon project, boosting hydrogen production from high water content of bio-waste and negative carbon emissions, and is coordinated by MTU Sweden. So it's something new. The bio-waste is a resource, and in waste we have 45%. So we have to see new ways of valorizing this bio-waste. And with this project, we have the hydrogen production. Also, we had a review meeting on another Horizon project, the Ferticovery. Best available techniques to recover or recycle fertilizing products from secondary raw materials. Also, the third project, the Fuel Gaia project, sustainable on-site and innovative technologies for advanced transport biofuels. We need biofuels for transportation. We can get them from waste and microalgae. We had the agri-loop. We have also the agricultural waste, and it's a collaboration of Europe with China. And the project is an integrated approach to safely convert agri-residues into proteins, biodegradable plastics, and other biochemicals coordinated by INRA France. Also, we have another tool apart from Horizon, which is the research program of Europe. We have another tool, the Circular Bioeconomy Europe. We have the landfill project, transforming waste into sustainable biofertilizers, and is coordinated by Nickel. We have with Africa, the SWAM project. We had a meeting here today about plastics. The Cronus project, that is really converting all the emissions from biorefineries to convert them to products. The LIFE program, another tool of the European Commission, where we get the CO2 emissions with hydrogen to make methane that we need to replace biogas. The LIFE Dimitra program, where all the anaerobic processes are producing digestates, and we need to dispose. In our country, we have over 90 facilities with a lot of lagoons accepting digestate. We valorize that digestate to produce fertilizers. Lastly, the LIFE program will have a session here at the conference on the Thursday 26th. Many of you are repeaters, and we certainly appreciate that very much, and we will continue our attempts to do our best at all levels in order to enlarge this warm conference family and meet every year. Also, we would like to thank the co-organizers, the region of South Aegean, the prefect, of course, Nisiros is present here, and also from the region of South Aegean, we have the Director General, Mr. Gambroudis, the municipality, of course, with the mayor, Nikitaras, and the West to Energy and Research Technology Council, which I represent, and of course the sponsors to the support to the conference, and the municipality of Nisiros, the mayor of Nisiros, Dr. Koroneos, will be with us. He used to be actually an ex-member of my lab, and now he's the mayor of Nisiros. He's a chemical engineer, and we are going to have a visit in Nisiros Island as well. We hope you will find the Kos Island, the Kos conference interesting, useful, and up to your expectations. After the hybrid conference in Corfu 22, Kanya 23, Rhodes 24, and Paphos Cyprus 25, we are happy that even more speakers join us this year with physical presence, despite the problems we have with the war in the Middle East. It was a moment that we thought this conference will be cancelled, and here together today we have more participants than the year before. And I'm glad about this, that you dare to come and you didn't get scared of the war. It's not a war anymore. Kos is the third largest island in the Tokanis group, and I think the prefect will say more about the Kos. I don't want to take more of your time on this. I would like to wish you a pleasant stay in Kos Island and go around the island. And thanks again for joining this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Loizidou. Now we will give the floor to Ms. Konstantina Svinou, the governor of Kos and Nisiros. And of course, we would also like to thank you very much for all your help and support during the preparation of the conference.
Dr. Loizidou, dear organizers, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, Please let me first say the greetings of the Governor of the South Aegean, Mr. Hadjimarkos, who was not able to participate. It's both a pleasure and an honor to welcome you all to the island of Kos for the 13th International Conference on Sustainable Solid Waste Management. The presence of leading scientists, researchers, public administration officials, institutional representatives, and professionals from all around the world is a great honor of our island and highlights the importance of sustainable resource management for the futures of our societies. You are visiting the South Aegean region, the most island-rich region of the Mediterranean. Our region consists of 79 islands, 52 islands are inhabited, and among our inhabited islands, only 39 have a population of fewer than 3,000 residents. So you can all understand that this unique geography creates significant challenges in infrastructure, in transportation, in energy, in water resources, and of course, in waste management. At the same time, however, it offers us a unique opportunity to serve as a living laboratory for innovative, sustainable development policies. The South Aegean region is the flagship region of Greek tourism. It hosts approximately 22% of the country's hotel capacity and generates nearly 25% of Greece's tourist arrivals and tourism revenue. This success comes with great responsibility. For us, growth cannot be separated from sustainability. Environmental protection is a prerequisite for preserving development, and it doesn't operate as an obstacle to development. For this reason, the South Aegean region has been leading a series of initiatives that are transforming our islands into models of sustainability. And to be more specific, Astipalea, the island of Astipalea, has become an international example of smart and sustainable mobility. The island of Tilos has been recognized as the first certified zero-waste island in the Mediterranean. The island of Chalki became the Greece's first GR Eco Island, pioneering the transition to clean energy and reduced carbon footprint. In Rhodes, the CoLab project is being implemented as one of the most ambitious green transformation initiatives for island destinations in Europe. These initiatives demonstrate that islands can become pioneers of the Greek transition and not just places that must just adapt to modern environmental challenges. This is exactly the goal that we, as the South Aegean region, envision for the island also of Kos. Kos is the third largest island of the Dodecanese and one of the Greece's most important tourist destinations. It offers approximately 60,000 hotel beds, with 65% belonging to 4- or 5-star category, so the luxury category. Beyond the numbers, Kos possesses all the qualities of an authentic and complete destination: natural beauty, rich cultural and historical heritage, modern infrastructure, and above all, people, the people of Kos, who serve the spirit of hospitality with passion and dedication. At the heart of our identity lies the legacy of Hippocrates, the father of medicine. His philosophy of balance, prevention, and harmony between humanity and nature remains more relevant today than ever before. Perhaps there is no more contemporary expression of Hippocratic thinking than our effort to build a development model that respects natural resources, reduces waste, and safeguards the well-being of future generations. So, guided by this philosophy, we are investing in the future. In order to encourage households across Kos, all the island of Kos, and of course across all the islands that belong to the South Aegean region, in order to embrace the practice of recycling organic waste and adapt a more sustainable approach to waste management, we distributed more than 3,000 only in Kos household and garden composters free of charge. Today, in Kos is being implemented one of the largest environmental infrastructure investments through the initiatives of the South Aegean region and the South Aegean Waste Management Authority, FODSA. An integrated and sustainable waste management system is being developed with a total budget approaching 110 million euros. Its goal is to maximize resource recovery, strengthen recycling, and reduce landfill disposal to less than 10%. At the same time, within a remarkably short period, the restoration and full environmental upgrading of Kos sanitary landfill site has completed, ensuring its legal operation and full compliance with environmental standards. This investment goes for beyond conventional waste management infrastructure. It represents an investment in the circular economy, environmental protection, sustainable development, and the resilience of island communities. It is a project that aims to demonstrate how a leading tourism destination can successfully combine economic growth and environmental responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen, sustainable waste management is a matter of culture, is a matter of cooperation, of innovation, and collective responsibility. I am confident that this conference will provide an invaluable opportunity for the exchange of knowledge, experience, and best practices, helping us build even more sustainable societies and more resilient destinations for the future generations. I wish you success in your discussions and deliberations, and I sincerely hope that your stay in Kos will be a memorable experience, worthy of the island's hospitality, history, and natural beauty. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Vinu. And next, we will give the floor to the Mayor of Kos, Mr. Theodosis Nikitaras, for his short welcome speech.
Just to mention that his speech will be in Greek, so I'll try to translate.
Καλημέρα σας, καλώς ήρθατε. I will speak in my language.
Good morning and welcome.
Ευχαριστώ και ευχαριστούμε εξ ονόματος του Κοακού Λαού για την επιλογή σας να πραγματοποιήσετε αυτό το συνέδριο στο υπέροχο μοναδικό νησί, την γενέτερα γη του πατέρα της ιατρικής Ιπποκράτη.
Thank you for deciding to organize this conference here in this beautiful island of Kos, which is the birthplace of Hippocrates.
Το νησί μας έχει 40.000 μόνιμους κατοίκους.
The island has 40,000 inhabitants.
Όμως, τους καλοκαιρινούς μήνες, το νησί φιλοξενεί συνολικά πάνω από 150.000 επισκέπτες και μόνιμους κατοίκους.
So the island hosts every year more than 150,000 people during the summer period.
Διακρίνω ένα μικρό πρόβλημα στην μετάφραση. Θα πω όσο πιο απλοϊκά μπορώ κάποια πράγματα, λοιπόν. Εδώ, σε αυτόν τον τόπο, πριν από 30 χρόνια, η τοπική αυτοδιοίκηση πήρε μία πρωτοβουλία ως πρωτοπόρα σε όλη την Ελλάδα να δημιουργήσει, κατ' επιταγή ουσιαστικά της πολιτικής της Ευρώπης, χώρους υγειονομικής ταφής απορριμμάτων. Και έτσι λοιπόν στην ΚΟ, εδώ και 20 περίπου 25 χρόνια, λειτουργεί χώρος υγειονομικής ταφής απορριμμάτων.
The last 30 years, the region authority has taken the initiative to better manage waste management, and the last 25 years, a landfill site has been operating for the safe disposal of municipal solid waste.
Όμως εδώ είναι το περίεργο, ενώ ουσιαστικά η τοπική αυτοδιοίκηση εφάρμοζε μια πολιτική της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης, έρχεται τα τελευταία χρόνια να πληρώσει για λογαριασμό του κράτους πρόστιμα που αφορούν στο γεγονός ότι συνεχίζει να θάβει έστω και με αυτόν τον τρόπο ακόμα τα απορρίμματά της.
He says that despite the fact that he is implementing the EU policy as foreseen, his region here in Kos Island has to pay for the disposal of waste in the landfills.
Και αυτό έγινε γιατί δεν υπήρχε εθνική πολιτική για την διαχείριση των απορριμμάτων.
And this says that it's a national policy for handling and managing waste in the country. Say.
Βλέπω, επειδή υπάρχει αυτή η δυσκολία στη μετάφραση, δεν θα κουράσω, θα πω μόνο το εξής. Ότι η τοπική αυτοδιοίκηση και η ΚΟ συγκεκριμένα παράγει πλούτο. Παράγει πλούτο ο οποίος όμως δεν επιστρέφει σε εμάς, δεν επιστρέφει στις τοπικές κοινωνίες. Εμείς ως τοπική αυτοδιοίκηση μπορούμε να διαχειριστούμε όλα αυτά τα κορυφαία ζητήματα που θα συζητήσετε εσείς και να τα κάνουμε με τον καλύτερο τρόπο, και αν μας είχε δοθεί αυτή η ευκαιρία και αυτή η αρμοδιότητα θα το είχαμε κάνει εδώ και πολλά χρόνια.
The efforts made in terms of municipal solid waste management should be a rewarding approach to the local people, the people, and we expect that the findings from the conference will be used to improve the situation here in Kos Island, to my understanding.
Η κυκλική οικονομία για την οποία θα συζητήσετε έχει να κάνει ουσιαστικά με την συνείδηση που αποκτά μια τοπική κοινωνία στην διαχείριση συγκεκριμένων πραγμάτων και στην περίπτωσή μας στην διαχείριση των απορριμμάτων. Δυστυχώς αυτό ως εδραίωση συνείδησης στην Ελλάδα δεν έχει συμβεί ακόμα.
Circular economy is a policy approach for handling solid waste management, and this is something that needs to be applied for the case of Greece as well.
Γιατί δεν έχει εφαρμοστεί ακόμα η πολιτική που λέει πληρώνω όσο πετάω.
Because the principle that says pay as you throw has not been implemented in scale.
Όσο αυτό δεν εφαρμόζεται, τότε ό,τι συζητάμε θα έχει μόνο μία θεωρητική βάση και δεν θα έχει αντιστοίχηση με την πραγματικότητα.
As long as this policy measure is not being implemented, the remaining things just is not
going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Actually, the circular economy will not be applied to its full potential.
Δεν θέλω να σας κουράσω άλλο. Να ευχηθώ στο περιθώριο του συνεδρίου σας να απολαύσετε την ΚΟ και τις ομορφιές της.
I would like to thank you for joining the conference and have a productive meeting. Yeah? Thank you very much, Mayor.
Next, we would like to give the floor to Mr. Arnoldas Miloukas, Head of the Unit of Biodiversity, Circular Economy and Environment from the European Research Executive Agency of European Commission.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and I would like to thank organizers for invitation. I consider it a privilege to address such distinguished audience. And my name is Arnoldas Milukas. I am head of unit for biodiversity, circular economy, and environment at the European Research Executive Agency, REA, the body responsible for implementing key parts of Horizon Europe EU Research and Innovation Program. And for many years, this conference has served as a vital meeting point where scientists, innovators, and policy makers come together to shape the future of waste management, circular economy, and bioeconomy. And today, we will not only be talking about how to manage waste better, we'll discuss about reinventing how we produce, consume, and compete in the world of finite resources and growing instability. So I would like to thank organizers again for bringing us together, and this time in the stunning setting, of course, to share ideas, forge collaborations, and to turn science into solutions. And since we last met, Europe's approach to circularity has undergone a significant shift because it is no longer just an environmental policy. It's now a core pillar of our industrial strategy and economic resilience. And last year, the EU unveiled the Competitiveness Compass roadmap to make Europe the global leader in clean technologies and climate-neutral production. And later that year, the Clean Industrial Deal turned this vision into action. And circularity is at the heart of both initiatives because Europe cannot compete just on cheap labor or cheap raw materials, but we can compete on innovation, efficiency, and sustainability. And this is why the upcoming Circular Economy Act will aim to remove market barriers for secondary materials and ensure that recycled content moves freely across the EU single market. And this is why the new Eco-Design for Sustainable Products regulation mandates durability, repairability, and recyclability, addressing waste as a design flaw and not as an inevitability. And this is why revised EU bioeconomy strategy is aiming to accelerate the shift from fossil fuel-based to renewable materials, creating new industries in the process. And the two pivotal documents, the Draghi report and Letta report, make a very clear message that Europe's future prosperity depends on our ability to innovate, collaborate, and act with urgency. But the circular and bioeconomy aren't just about sustainability, it's about securing Europe's industrial sovereignty, creating jobs, and leading the green transition. But there are challenges. The Circularity Gap report prepared by Circle Europe and Deloitte this year quantified for the first time an economic losses of our current linear economy that could be retained through circular practices. And initial estimate for the value gap is 25 trillion euros, and this is much more than annual EU GDP. So, of course, one can ask, why isn't circularity scaling up faster? And there's another report published by Ellen MacArthur Foundation, which identifies three critical barriers. First, fragmented rules with 27 different recycling laws, waste classification, and extended producers' responsibility schemes. Businesses which are involved in circular economy face red tape, extra cost, and trade barriers just to move materials across borders between two EU member states. Second, there is a trust gap. Without standardized tracking systems like digital product passports, buyers can't verify the quality, origin, or compliance of recycled materials, so they often opt for virgin resources. And third, an uneven playing field. Virgin materials are often cheaper due to hidden subsidies, inconsistent taxation, and underdeveloped infrastructure. Meanwhile, recycled alternatives struggle with higher processing costs and logistical hurdles. And the European Environmental Agency latest report on scaling circular business models adds another layer. Circular solution works, and it is proven, but often they're trapped in niche markets. And why? Again, because of regulatory barriers, lacks of financing, and a system that still rewards short-term profits over long-term sustainability. Yet the opportunities are enormous. In textiles, in electronics, in construction alone, circular models could cut emissions by 40 to 50%, create millions of local jobs, and slash our dependence on imports. But only if businesses, policymakers, and researchers like you act together and act quickly. And this brings me to my final point. Research and innovation has potential as a bridge between ambition and reality. The policies are in place, the funding is available, but without breakthroughs in material science, digital tracking, and behavioral economics, these targets will remain aspirational. And that's why you came to this conference, because your work, whether it is on enzyme-based recycling, on AI-driven sorting, or circular business models, is what will turn policy into practice. Because Europe's competitive edge will come from smart, sustainable, and scalable solutions. And that's why Horizon Europe is investing heavily in circular and bio-based innovation to nurture the technologies, products, and business models that will define Europe's leadership in the global green transition. And so what do we go from here? And in the next session, I will dive deeper into EU research and innovation priorities and funding opportunities. For this and next year, we'll explore how your research can access support, where the biggest opportunities lie, and how we can work together to turn ideas into practice. But for now, let me leave you with this thought. The circular economy isn't just an environmental necessity. It is Europe's best chance to lead the global green transition. So let's seize the moment, let's collaborate, innovate, and scale the solution that will define our future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Miloukas. And then now we will give the floor to the president of the Hellenic Solid Waste Management Association, Mr. George Iliopoulos.
Good morning, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and ladies and gentlemen. It's, of course, for us, again, a great honor and pleasure to be in the first session representing our Solid Waste Management Association, the Greek, which is a member, the national member of ISVA. Your Congress, the 13th one in a row, is one of the most respected international forums dedicated to sustainable waste management, resource recovery, and circular economy. Our association represents in Greece more than 5,000 members and nominated friends from industry, local authorities, academia, service providers, and consulting design firms. We are a co-founder and coordinator partner of the Greek Circular Cities Dialogue Forum, which operates in Greece more than 2 years right now, 3 years, sorry. Participating there more than 20 stakeholders from the ministries, but also from the market, academia, and environmental organizations and others. On behalf of EDSA, I would like to warmly welcome all the participants, because you have traveled from many different countries in order to be in cause. Your presence, I'm sure that it's so strong, like the other congresses in the past, that demonstrates that the effort of this Congress to have an international cooperation for resolving local problems in Greece is essential. Let's see what's happening in Greece right now. Today, the waste management in Greece is no longer viewed simply as an environmental obligation like in the past. It has become a strategic pillar for the sustainable development. The transition from simple waste management to resource management and circular economy is being developed in Greece in the last 5 years and speeded up. What happened? We have first a complete legislative framework and master planning in the country, national and regional master planning for solid waste management according to circular economy EU targets. Second, we have 5 collaborative funding mechanisms, which is ESPA, the EU, national funding from the landfill tax, private funding from PPPs, and EPR funding from extended producer responsibility. Third, we have more than 30 mature projects under construction. There are the RRF plants, recycling and recovery facilities plants, biological treatment plants, and MRF plants. Fourth, we have 13 regional holistics plans for source separation, per region of course, but per municipality also, which dimension the needs for equipment for the source separation. And last, we have a waste to energy national plan that is completed with the process of dialogue, public dialogue, and right now it's under the signing, the signature from the Ministry of the Strategic Environmental Impact Assessment Decision. The first step in order to go to the next step to implement this national plan. But even if you have this good news, we have 4 main concerns that in EDSA we push government for solution. First, we need a dedicated law for the personnel for the Forza Intermunicipality Association that has to implement these projects, as I explained before, and has to monitor the projects, the good operation of the projects, and for the municipalities that make the source separation collection. So we have to have dedicated law for extra personnel. This is paid by the citizens, so it doesn't make any problem to the public economics. Second concern, we have to speed up the ESPA funding approvals for these RRF plans in order to complete them in the coming 1 or 2 years and don't have delays. And of course, to have publishing this new funding mechanism of the landfill tax. Third issue, we have to stronger motivate the people, like the mayor of course said. We have to implement the law for the pay-as-you-throw, to implement the law, there is a law as an obligation, with detailed guidelines for the municipalities in order to implement step by step the pay-as-you-throw schemes to large producers and then households. So we have we need detailed guidelines for the municipalities in order to implement the law step by step. And last is the awareness and rewarding issues that we have to integrate with large-scale schools, recycling and reuse programs in order to put the recycling and reuse inside the school community in large scale. We have many schools doing this. It's approximately the 10% or the 20% of the total of the country, but this 20% needs to be 100. Dear all, I wish to congratulate all the people that organized this, and specifically the thanks to Professor Maria Zoizidou. It's a person that puts her heart on this organization many years right now, with lifelong contribution to environmental engineering. She's dedicated on this, but she's also dedicated to EFSA work as a member of our permanent scientific committee, and I thank her for all her contribution. Of course, I would like to thank also and congratulate for the organizing Dr. Konstantinos Moustakas. He's, apart from the head of the organizing committee, he's put all her efforts and professionalism to EFSA as a general secretary, but also is the president of the organizing committee of our Congress that will take place in Athens 1st and 2 October in 3 months from now on in the National Technical Historical Buildings University of Athens. It's a very nice Congress, and there is 1 month more for all of you if you want to participate with presentation. There is 1 month more deadline. Of course, Kostas also is the representative of the National Technical University of Athens in the Circular Cities Forum that we have constituted as EFSA with the Ministry of Environment. We believe that during these coming days, you will all benefit from these discussions that were made in your hall. There are many people from EFSA right now attending first and second day, so we will be informed, and accordingly, we will try to put our efforts to help the results of your very nice Congress to become reality in Greece in the coming months and year. I wish you every success, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Iliopoulos, for all your initiatives and, of course, for the inspiration for establishing the Circular Cities Forum.
We move to the next speakers. They are not here. It's the Dean of our Department of the Chemical Engineering. He has set a video. During the break, the video will play outside. And also the Chamber of Greece, the National Chamber of Engineers of Greece, has sent the greetings to the President. So the video will be also available during the coffee breaks. And then we have to move, because we're a bit late, to the program. And just to announce the first keynote speakers is, again, from Brussels, Mr. Arnold Miloukas, European Research Executive Agency. And he's going to talk about European Commission EU research and innovation, new funding opportunities for the circular economy. We have to see the circularities coming, and it's pushing and pushing. We just heard about the landfills 25 years back. Now things have changed. We have to see the new things, and the research funding is very crucial. And thanks for coming, Mr. Miloukas. Thank you. The floor is yours for 15 minutes, I think.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Zoizidou, and good morning again. So I introduced myself before, but for those who are joining just now, my name is Arnold Miloukas. I'm representing European Research Executive Agency of the European Commission. And I feel really privileged to be here among leading researchers and practitioners in sustainable waste management, a field that sits at the very heart of European circular economy and bioeconomy ambitions. And today I want to talk about how research and innovation can turn these ambitions into reality and how you, as researchers and scientists, contribute to this transition. So let me thank once again the organizer for bringing us today. Next slide, please. This, I can use this. Oh, yeah. So in this presentation, I will cover mainly 3 parts. Who we are, what's new policy, and what research and innovation opportunities and circular economy and bioeconomy are upcoming in terms of EU funding. Next slide, please. I'm trying to use this, but it doesn't, yeah. And next one. Yes, so who is REA? REA is a European Commission Research Executive Agency mandated to implement a large part of Horizon Europe and part of the legacy of Horizon 2020, plus a research fund for coal and steel and program for promotion of agricultural products. And we fund and manage high-quality research and innovation projects that generate knowledge for society. We also offer cross-cutting support for all Commission service, for example, regarding proposal evaluation organization, participant validation, handling expert evaluators, and research inquiry service. Next slide, please. And Horizon Europe is at core of our work at REA. And as you know, Horizon is EU's most ambitious research and innovation framework program with a budget of nearly 100 billion euros for period from 2021 until 2027. And it's built around 3 pillars: excellent science, global challenges, and European industrial competitiveness, and innovative Europe. And my unit manages parts of Cluster 6, food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture and environment, which is part of Pillar 2, global challenges and industrial competitiveness. It's highlighted in blue. Next slide, please. Yeah. So, in essence, Cluster 6 projects, they underpin our quality of life. Everything here traces back to essentials to secure food, to clean water, to healthy nature, and these are the systems our societies and economies rest upon. And Cluster 6 fund the research that keep them resilient, anchored in EU Green Deal to safeguard our natural resource base. And it's built to balance 3 goals at the same time: environmental, societal, and economic. And why? Because the transition to a circular economy isn't just an environmental imperative, it's an economic one as well. It's about securing Europe's resource independence, industrial leadership, and resilience in the world of growing uncertainties. And that's where policy and research and innovation intersect. Next slide, please. Sorry, okay, very good, thank you. Yeah, okay. Now I can do it myself, very good. So, yeah, so what are the new EU policy developments? Let me start with the policy landscape, because this year is a pivotal year for EU action. And since the last year, the EU has advanced a robust policy agenda to accelerate the circular economy, aligning it with strategic priorities. And key developments include, first, in last year, a clean industrial deal was adopted, positioning research efficiency and circularity as a cornerstone of EU industrial competitiveness decarbonization and strategic autonomy. The 2025 revised safe and sustainable by design framework integrates circularity into product design, prioritizing durability, repairability, reuse, and recyclability. The new EU bioeconomy framework promotes sustainable bio-based resources use and waste valorization, fostering circular material flows. 2026 Industrial Accelerator Act, fast-track deployment of circular technologies, bridging the gap between innovation and market adoption. Looking ahead, there are recent initiatives which aim to scale innovation and should therefore be mentioned here. It's upcoming Biotech Act 2, which will bolster biotech innovation and waste-to-resource solutions and bio-based materials, and Circular Economy Act, which aims to strengthen secondary materials market, reduce trace barriers, boost resource productivity, and scale circular business models, while at the same time boosting economic growth through new opportunities in recycling. Here I will present some circular economy and bioeconomy goals that are managed by our unit, as well as some other relevant initiatives. So Cluster 6 biannual work program 2026 and 27 will commit more than 100 million euro to these challenges and opportunities. This work program 26-27 has been adopted recently, and here I would like to focus only on destination 3, which is dedicated exclusively to this circular bio-based systems. This destination supports EU Green Deal and aims to facilitate the emergence and uptake of innovative circular and bio-based materials, products, processes, and value chains. The main single-stage goal, Horizon CL6 2001, opened on the 17th of April and will close on the 17th of September. And zooming in on, let's say, in this destination, there are 11 topics under which 22 projects are expected to be funded. And out of these 22, 7 research and innovation actions for early stage, high risk research, 3 innovation acts for project closer to market, where scalability is the key, and 1 coordination and support action to foster collaboration and standardization. So this is your chance to shape the future of circular economy and bioeconomy, whether you're working on materials, processes, or systemic change. And let me highlight a few goals where we see particularly high potential for impact and of possible interest for some of you. In the area of plastic food packaging, a notoriously challenging area in cycle, we're looking for breakthroughs in design, sorting, and recycling technologies. In textiles, we are looking for excellent proposal from advanced recycling of blended textiles to city-level system for reuse and repair. These goals align with the Circular Cities and Regions initiative, because circularity, it's not only about technologies, it's about the system change in society as well. And in the area of critical raw materials, the topic calls for the recovering CRM from electronic waste, a strategic priority for Europe's supply security and industrial competitiveness. And in the area of bioeconomy, we are looking to fund biotech-enabled innovation to marine bio-based products. These calls are about replacing fossil-based materials with sustainable alternatives. And if you're working on policy or standardization, Don't miss topics on the Bioeconomy Policy Support Hub or on pre-normative research for bio-based products. Remember the deadlines, and if you have any doubts, you can always go back to recording of our Info Day, which took place in January this year. There is an interactive link on the slide of this 26th Info Day. And the next Info Day for upcoming calls for proposal for 27th World Program is scheduled for January 2027. So please stay tuned, and there are plenty of opportunities ahead. But the opportunities don't stop here, so if you are working on circular construction, check out this cross-cutting topic, which is not part of the Cluster 6. And given its focus on circularity, it contributes to implementation of mission on cities, the new European Bauhaus, the European Partnership on People-Centric Sustainable Built Environment, and the EU Circular Cities and Regions Initiative. It's about scaling circular models from building to entire cities. In addition, on the new European Bauhaus, there are at least 2 calls for sustainable building maintenance and thermal comfort, because circularity isn't just about materials, it's about how we live and work. Please know that the deadlines are different from the Cluster 6 topics. They are 8th of October and 1st December, respectively. And finally, I would like to mention the Circular Bio-Based Europe joint undertaking, CBGU, a public-private partnership driving bio-based innovation. It is a 2 billion public-private partnership between the EU and bio-based industries consortium, advancing competitive circular bio-based industries. Their 2026 call will provide up to 170 million across 13 topics, supporting the scale-up of Europe's circular bioeconomic and industrial competitiveness. Funding supports the full innovation pipeline from research and technology development to demonstration and flagship scale implementation. And again, their 2026 Info Day recordings are in the hyperlink of the slides, and as well presentations are available online. So for the selected topics, which could be most relevant for the audience here from this CBGU call, so they focus on safe and sustainable by design solutions, including bio-based alternative for agriculture, personal care, polymers and consumer products, major investment in industrial biotechnology and biorefineries, from biomass valorization and process innovation to flagship scale deployment, significant opportunities for circular materials innovation, including recyclable and biodegradable additives, circular packaging, bio-based thermosets, and sustainable textile fibers. The deadlines here is the 22nd of September. So if you work bridges biotech and circularity, this is a very interesting opportunity. So far, I was talking about the Horizon Europe and Circular Bio-Based Europe joint undertaking, where the focus is on the breakthrough research, innovation, and scaling technologies. But what happens when you are ready to take your circular solution out of the lab into cities, region, and industry, into the real life? That's where the LIFE program comes in, which could be considered as a link between research and real-world adoption. And the LIFE 2026 calls for proposal provide a great opportunity to turn your ideas into concrete actions. They support the implementation of EU environmental policy and close-to-market projects. whether it's restoring nature, improving circularity, or enhancing climate action, your project could qualify for a share of more than 600 million available for 2026 calls through different types of projects. And the live call have been launched on the 21st of April, and the deadline is again in September. So there is still some months left. As well, last but not least, there is another opportunity you can get involved in EU research and innovation programs. And this is a direct invitation to this audience. We're always looking for new experts to peer review funding proposals and mentor fund projects. And you can register in our expert database via our website. Please bring your experience to Europe Research Area. And to wrap up, circular economy is central to EU key initiatives like a Clean Industrial Deal, the Bioeconomy Strategy, and the upcoming Circular Economy Act. It must become part of the single market, competitive for industry and fair for Europeans. And research and innovation funding is a key enabler with many opportunities across Cluster 6, the CB joint undertaking and LIFE, which could turn ambitions into results. And this transition cannot happen without you, so please apply to the Open Horizon calls, mention the deadlines for plastic, textiles, critical raw materials, biomass, bio-based this September. Stay informed by joining 2027 Cluster 6 Info Days in January 2027. And as well, you can get involved by registering as REA expert. So we encourage you to apply, collaborate, and lead. And as I mentioned, deadlines have been set, so the clock is ticking. And if you are interested in more what's going on, so you can follow REA on LinkedIn, you can subscribe to our newsletter, you can use the research inquiry service if you have questions. We are here to help. And I would like to thank you for attention, and as well to wish you all the productive and inspiring conference. And I look forward to exciting presentation and discussions ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miloukas, for this very nice presentation. That was great interest to all of us. And I asked our researchers that Mr. Miloukas will be around in other sessions, so we'll take the chance to discuss with him. I take this liberty to say thank you.
Our next keynote speaker is Dr. Nicholas Abadzoglu, Professor of the Department of Chemical and Biotechnological Engineering of the Sherbrooke University. He's a co-founder of the company Enerchem Technologies, professor of Enerchem, a spin-off commercializing technologies in the field of energy from renewable resources. The floor is yours. So 15 minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just bring the presentation on the screen. Thank you very much. So I'm delighted to be with you, and I would like to thank the organizer for giving me again this podium. In last years, I was at the same podium to present the high hopes arising from the development of our technology. And this year, I have the big privilege to be here and push a little bit the message more, because this technology is now successful crossing what we call the Death Valley. In the previous speaker take-home message, there were 2 points very important. The first one is the policy, which is now similar in EU and Canada. As you know, Canada is fully integrated in the Horizon program. And the policy is not only to favor research and development, but also push forward the implementations, practical implementations. And to find ways to do that, we have a big hurdle. The big hurdle is financing this intermediate step, which is called Death Valley. Find money to pass from TRL 5.6 to TRL 7.8 and prove the technology at this level before fully commercializing. So here, I will show you how we have pushed this, not alone, but with our partners, mainly the industrial partner KWI, which is the company interested in the application of this technology. So we have various partners which will be thanked at the end of my presentation. So in overview, first of all, I will show you how we can beneficiate waste plastic beyond reuse, recovery, reuse, and recycling, mechanical recycling, and other than incineration. So we have the thermal pyrolysis, which is the basis, the platform technology on which is based this new endeavor. And also we have the chemical depolymerization and repolymerization. So I will show some short ideas and how this works so far and why this is not yet fully applied, although these technologies have been developing for many years. So I will show you shortly the lab-scale ATP and CNF, which is carbon nanofilaments production platforms. Some results, I will not repeat the same thing we have shown in previous years. We have some new results and mainly coming from tests of this new material by various users of these materials, which is a very important step in order to finance the Death Valley. And then I will show you some details about the transfer at TRL7, including the layout of the scale-up unit, the preliminary cost analysis very shortly, because I have not too much time, and the sustainability of the effort. So when we talk about pyrolysis, we think something general like that. And this general we see here, we have essentially the idea of taking the plastic or thermal pyrolyzing and producing the oil, which is to be used as an energy carrier, like to burn it as a fuel. And this is not very successful so far because this oil is unstable and needs a stabilization, and this is very costly and is very difficult to be competitive with fossil fuels. Now, if we see this more generally, we have essentially these three products, which is gas, liquid, and what we call the biochar or the char, which are the commercial products targeted by this type of technology. But in our case, we go a step forward. So in fact, if we cover also the depolymerization, I give as an example the polyethylene terephthalate, which can be depolymerized. There are two technologies. The first one is glycolysis and hydrolysis, which are pushed even at TRL 7.8. The one which is produced with hydroxyethyl terephthalate, and the other one is the terephthalic acid. These two components can be repolymerized and give back the PET. And there are industrial activities on these. There have been units producing these things, and we have not very big success in putting this material into the market, besides the fact that these are virgin polymer, which can be inserted in the market. So the PET lysis is essentially expressed by this process flow diagram, and essentially this is what I have shown previously, the BHET and the TPA, which can be used for repolymerization. This covers what I promised to show you what are the other technologies of beneficiation. In our case, this is the technology which is presented very simple. We take the plastics. We have an autothermal pyrolysis. I had explained how this works in my previous talks. We take pyrolytic products, both the gas and the liquid. Everything is gaseous, but we have the condensation part. And then this material is first of all, the pyrolysis is a proprietary technology which is patented. And then we have a second patent technology which takes these pyrolytic products, and instead of getting to fuels, they are transformed in carbon nanofilaments. And we see the carbon nanofilaments here. Doesn't work anymore. You see the picture you see here is scanning electron microscopy shows the nanofilaments are diameters of about 100 to 200 nanometers, and these are essentially the targeted product, which is to be used as additive in commercial products. And on top of this, we have synthesis gas, which can be used for energy production. It can be used also for internal heat recovery in the autothermal pyrolysis. And eventually, if the technology is applied at higher scale, it can be used to produce synthetic fuels. So this is the ATP platform at our labs is a kilolab scale, and this is the main body, which is a fluidized bed reactor producing these pyrolytic oils, is encircled here. I had shown also some details in my previous presentations. And this is the production of CNF platform. We have first this reactor, which is a novel hybrid mobile fluidized bed reactor. And these are the recovery of the nanofilaments. It's essentially the metallic filters filtering out the nanofilaments produced in the first vessel. So the tests which have been effected, essentially we have started with pure polyethylene. We ended up with, we passed through B, which is essentially plastic coming from sorting centers, shredded, and we have the full recovered material which cannot be recycled by sorting centers, ABC, so all of three have been tested. We have an idea of the steady state temperatures inside the pyrolysis unit. Typically, the pyrolysis unit operates at 550, 600 degrees. And we have products like that, the molar gas composition you see here, and we have the bio-oil composition. So this is important for people working to convert this into fuels. But in our case, we take all this as a whole, and is fed in the carbon production unit. So the CNF I'll go fast forward. This is the reactor which is converting the pyrolysis products into carbon nanofilaments. I will not have time to explain all the engineering parts of this, but essentially you see a central part, which is a fluidized bed, and you have another part, which is the outside, the concentric area, in which we have the mobile bed and where the nanofilaments are produced, and they are skimmed off through the circulation of the gas. And this is the filtration unit and the collection unit. This is scanning electron microscopy micrographs of the carbon nanofilaments, and these are transmission energy microscopy nanographs. I show this because at the tips you see some black spots. These black spots are nothing else than about 1 to 1.5% iron carbides, which are very useful for the nanofilaments because they give to this nanofilament very nice properties like high conductivity, much less resistivity, and they are very favorable as an additive for various users. So typically we have more than 50% of all carbon contained in the plastic, which is converted into carbon, while producing at the same time hydrogen with a yield of about also around 50%. Now, in order to sell this and fund the endeavor to build the higher scale unit, the company has to find users. These users have to show that these materials can be operating very well as additives to their products and promise that this material will be purchased by them. you see in the market is very important. When you produce something, you have to know where you sell this something. Otherwise, if you don't have this promise, it's very difficult to find the money to fund the endeavor. So this typically are the results used in epoxy resins when we add only 0.3 to 0.5 of this material in epoxy resins. The storage modulus and the glass transition temperature of this material is increasing considerably, typically more than 20%, which is very important for these epoxy resins. Also, conductivity increases by 3 orders of magnitude in the same epoxy resins. And I cannot unveil who performed this test because the company with which we are working on this would like to keep this confidential. But as you can see here, we have results from testing operated in order to replace some nanotubes in composition of elastomers, which are used to build winter tires. And the 100% refers to the results obtained when we replace very expensive material by the material we are producing with our technology. And you see that both tensile tests and DMTA tensile, which is essentially a measurement of how energy is stored in the material and is given as thermal output, are essentially the same. So this means that you have the same properties with much lower cost material. Instead of having something which is costly about $50 to $100 per kilo, we have something which is produced with a cost of $3 to $4 per kilo. So these are other tests which are done in polyvilidene fluoride, is another polymer very widely used in industry because of its high resistance. And we can see that by adding up to about 2% of this material into the PVDF, we have improved the conductivity by about 300 times, which is extremely important for people who would like to avoid electrostatics, so electrostatic charges. So crossing the Death Valley, and based on what we have produced so far, the industrial partner has advanced in this point, negotiates the purchase of the technology from the university, because this technology has been developed in the university. The university has a vehicle of technology transfer, which is called Transfer Tech, and presently the company would like either to have a license, but they prefer to purchase the technology. And this is very important for the university because it makes technology transfer. As you know, universities have not as target to make money, have as targets to produce technology, to render this technology in the society, and eventually take this money and reinvest this in the research. Then the company signed a commitment letter with major sorting center for ensuring the long-term availability of the material. It's a local sorting center. So this sorting center can ensure about 10,000 tons of this residual plastic in order to be given to the TRL 78 unit. Gathers also letters of commitment for potential users of the CNF while continuing the testing with others, and raised the required capital for the semi-industrial unit. We talk about a nominal throughput of 400 kilos per CNF. And you all know that although we would like to recycle the plastics, presently worldwide, the percentage of plastic which is recycled is lower than 10%. So what happens with the rest? Landfilling or in the nature, accumulating, and so there's a big market there, not only for sorting centers, but for plastic which are gathered and can be converted this way. So this raising of capital is near completion. The idea is that it starts this year, the building, and engineering has been, the preliminary engineering is completed, detailed engineering is almost completed, And just I grade this because I cannot show the details. This is essentially the integrated ATB with CNF. Differentiate for the kilolab scale and the fact that we do not condense the liquids. It goes directly to the reactor. And just show this that the total capex is about 3.5 million US. The OPEX, operating OPEX, is of the order of 2 million. And we have made some calculations, and the company knows that with a unit of about 400 kilos per hour cannot make money. But the company does not like to lose money either. So if it can be a break-even, it will be nice. And this shows that it can be break-even with a capex amortization in 10 years. So the unit will be, the building of the unit will start at the end of this year or beginning of the next year, and the idea is that the unit is operative by the end of 2028. So I will just point out that this is a major breakthrough in terms of circular economy and sustainability. I'm sure that you all know what is sustainability, so this invention incorporates innovative technological improvement in a type of pyrolysis and gasification reaction which is widely used in the industry. You don't need to do something else. You can build it. The component which is essentially patented is the fact that you don't have two steps for heating the pyrolysis. You have it integrated inside. The combination of the two reaction vessels is part of what we call process intensification, which is a major trend in our, nowadays in our society. And the immediate application of this will be to provide a techno-economically sustainable, viable solutions for the global waste management. So this new concept is not new in terms of perhaps the technologies which essentially perhaps are known, but they have components which are patented, they are protected, and they drive us toward a diversification of the output. So we don't expect to have only energetic output. We can combine energetic output with materials. So just to show you what happens in terms of greenhouse effect gases, if we have 100 kilos of carbon in plastic, 30 of these kilos average are converted in carbon nanofilaments, which is considered as a capture because it's a very refractory component. 70 kilos go to the gaseous products. A part of it is used for the energetic needs, so there is no energy added to from outside. Is an autothermal system. And you have essentially 50 kilos of carbon which can be used in synthetic fuels. So at the first glance, you can use this to have an additional energy for a big system. You have a turbine to produce electricity, but at the furthest stage of a biorefinery, you can use this for synthetic fuels like Fischer-Tropsch synthesis fuels, drop-in Fischer-Tropsch synthesis fuel. So I would like to acknowledge the contributions of many partners in terms of funding of the initial effort. Prima Quebec, University of Sherbrooke, who built a building for this. Axelis, a funding organism in Quebec. NSERC, Canada, and the company KWI Polymers, which is our industrial partner. And of course, all of this is due to the hard work of my team in the University of Sherbrooke, of the GRTP. We have all these people contributing. We have my colleagues, also professors Ines Esma Assouri and François Gieshofer, and Dr. Tini Severian, who is a PDF fellow. We have Khadija Olivia Ogula, who is a PhD student. The students are Abir Azara and Salma Belbesai, who have graduated also. We have professionals and technicians, Jacques, Marc, Mohamed, and Julien. From KWI, the senior engineer, Dr. Jasmin Blanchard, and the Chief Executive Officer, Michel Olth. And we have the platform of analysis from the University of Sherbrooke, the PRAM, platform of research and analysis of materials. And we have the materials testing. I have shown you with the polyvinyl vinylidene fluoride are made by my colleagues at the Department of Mechanical Engineering at the University of Sherbrooke, Professor Said El-Koun and Professor Fraise Migri from the University of Laval in Chemical Engineering. So thank you very much. Thank you for the attention. I hope I thought I took a little bit more time. So thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Professor Abazolu, for your interesting presentation, for sharing your excellent work with us. Of course, we're going to have some time during the break to discuss over further. Thank you.
And let's move to the next keynote speaker. Deborah Fino is full professor of chemical plants and head of Department of Applied Science and Technology at Politecnico di Torino. As president of the Resoil Foundation, she promotes the regeneration of soils and natural systems as a key pillar of sustainable development and circular economy. Her research activities bridges engineering and biotechnology, focusing on biorefinery processes and the mitigation and valorization of carbon dioxide as a new material for high-value products.
Thank you for the very nice introduction, and thank you for the organizer for providing me the opportunity to speak with you. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen, friends. And we are here to talk about how we can transform lab innovation into something that can reach a plant. Probably the first part will be mostly devoted to the youngest and how we can transform results we obtain in the lab at, let me say, at the scale up. We saw a perfect pathway during the lecture before from Nicholas, and then the answer is for sure, yes, it's possible. But before doing this, we have to answer to some question, because a successful laboratory experiment is essential, but it's just a starting point. You need to answer to these questions. Can these super sexy results become a process? Can it be scaled? Can it be integrated in an existing plant or at least in an already existing supply chain? Okay, this is an environment where process engineering and the chemical engineer can play a decisive role. Okay, it's not enough to discover new reactions, but design new path from the reaction to processes, from processes to plant could be crucial if you'd like to arrive at the value chain, if you'd like to arrive at the shelf. Okay, when you are in your lab, you are dealing with your reaction, your fantastic reactor, you are using pure reagents, but the reality is another. The reality is you have to prove the reproducibility of your reaction in a robust window of operations. And you have to prove that your mass and heat transfer can work at a larger scale. You have to take care of the so-called upstream and downstream operation. And then, okay, the big elephants in the room, safety, control, economics, and permission. In Italy are very, very, very severe. And yes, when you are going to move and to take into account all these things, you are probably moved to the plant reliability. So your dream is going to become through. But before going to the transition to the pilot plant of your super results, you have to answer once again, not only does it work, but also can the process run continuously, can tolerate variability, can be controlled, or simply can be safe and viable, competitive, I mean from economical viewpoint. And we already underlined this death valley. We have a couple of death valley along along our processes, okay? And we already evinced this very last part when you are going to work with feedstocks that have a variety inside a plant. And I will go very fast on this. And okay, we are quite familiar with this kind of things, but talking about a circular industry, you have to take into account another aspect, the very last one. You are going to enter in the so-called industrial symbiosis, and this could be another point that should be solved, because your reactions are not going to stand alone, but it's going to stand together with other reactions, together with other processes. And this is important. This is a fantastic AI image, because I asked her to try to depict in a single image what I'm going to say. I don't like to talk about diffusive plants. I love this network of small and medium plants. I mean, in this way, you have to collocate in each stream in the right direction. I mean, each stream. It's not necessary physically, but it's necessary that you have very clear in mind that your stream is going to another part, to be part of another process. This is important. And if we have to ask something for the success of this circular process, what we have to ask. What we do with, for example, water, CO2 that are coming out from our processes. What happens to the impurities? I already talked about that feedstocks are different from pure reagents. And okay, is there a use for side stream and so on and so forth. And at the end of the story, we will have a very nice portfolio of final products, but with a very strategic methodological approach. Otherwise, it doesn't work. We already know what is a waste and what is a byproduct. We need to move towards this definition. Byproducts is something that can be used inside a plant or another plant. Is not waste and not should be treated and managed as a waste. And in this way, we will move. If you are handling something that is a byproduct, you have to move in the upper part at a high value added product. Otherwise, if you are spending energy, if you are spending something for handling, economically will not work. And we already touched this point. The biorefinery is the sustainable processing of biomasses into a spectrum of marketable products and energy. So what is essential? It's essential to move to the integrated biorefinery, where there is a very high interconnection of stream, and you are collocate each stream in the right position. So this is our way to conceive the integrated biorefinery, and then I'd like to provide some results of our group, and I will use a couple of examples in order to explain our concept of biorefinery, in which you will see in a very simple way that each stream is collocated. And now this is real. Okay, let me introduce my research group, and is a part of a big group, the CREST group, that account of 80 people. These colleagues are working in the circular industry, and I will provide now some example, as I told you. Starting from chemical valorization of waste, we are concentrating our effort in the extraction of interest compounds in order to arrive at the final products. Okay, as you can see from this scratch, you are also producing something that is called the residue. For us, once again, a byproducts, starting from other byproducts, okay? Okay, it depends on the type of biomass. It depends on the type of solvent you are using to extract the products, and also for the ratio. And here I want to present a very nice, super interesting results of Bruna, that is working on cultivated meat. How? She's extracting from some agri-food byproducts some molecules in order to fill the oxy through cultivator to feed primary porcine cell in a very interesting way. Another pathway we are following now is the extraction of polyphenol from apple flour that is already on the market. This was a first effort that we did together with an industry vortex to transform the waste of the production of apple juice into something for the market, and now it's on the market, is used in the food processing. And we did another step forward in order to produce this extract with a potential anti-acne ingredient for cream. Then we are working on the textile waste valorization in the waste that are produced from fast fashion industry. We are working on the cotton and the polyester fraction that with the enzymatic hydrolysis and hydrothermal liquefaction in order to produce building block for that should be used as an intermediate, or can be used, as you can see, ethanol, PLA or PHA. And this is a very interesting and very actual research line. Then coming to the valorization of the residues that are coming from the after the extraction. We have two possibilities depending on the humidity of the waste you are treating. You can go to the pyrolyzer in order to obtain syngas, bio-oil, and biochar. We already saw this kind of process. But it depends. It depends on type of biomass, temperature, heating speed, and the trial time. You can maximize one of the output as a function of the type of biomass and as a function of the parameter you are using for controlling pyrolyzers. And here we are Bianca. Bianca now is in Australia and is working together with the Professor Elsa De Santos at James Cook University. She's working on corn cobs and spent coffee grounds to produce biochar via pyrolysis process in order to absorb CO2. She's also working on the absorption of pharmaceutical compound present in the wastewater in a very effective way. And then Leandro is still working on pyrolysis, on carbon fiber composite recycling. And as you can see, he's working not only on the experimental part, but also on the LCA part. He is evaluating if the tree, the albedo that he put at the experimental level, if can be working also from the environment and from the economic viewpoint. He's working on LCA and LCCs too. Then the biochemical valorization of waste. Sometimes we have residues that are very humid, so the most important valorization could be biogas, anaerobic digestion to produce biofuel from biogas, or digestate that can be dried and also evaluated in other process. Also in this case, it depends on the type of biomass, type of fermentation, and while we'll come soon in this type of fermentation. Gaia Mazzanti is working with the valorization of wastewater from jam and organic waste in the so-called two-stage anaerobic digestion in order to produce together in two-stage hydrogen and biogas. Why?
Κύριε Γραφάκο, το Γενικό Γραμματέα της Πολιτικής Διαχείρισης Αποβλήτων, ο οποίος έχει δώσει μεγάλο αγώνα να φτάσει η Ελλάδα σήμερα εδώ που είναι. Το πρωί δυστυχώς ακούσαμε και τα δυσάρεστα από το Δήμαρχο ότι ξεκινήσαμε με τα landfills. Αυτή ήταν όμως και η πολιτική πριν 25 χρόνια. Σταδιακά όμως πρέπει να προσαρμοζόμαστε και να φτάσουμε εδώ που πρέπει να πάμε, ακολουθώντας και τις επιταγές της Ευρωπαϊκής Επιτροπής, αλλά και αυτά που χρειάζεται να κάνουμε και ως χώρα. Να εξοικονομήσουμε πόρους. Θα ήθελα να καλέσω τον πρώτο μιλητή, τον κύριο Γραφάκο, να μας μιλήσει, να μας δώσει τις κατευθύνσεις που πρέπει να πάμε. Κύριε Γραφάκο, the floor is yours.
Λοιπόν, καλημέρα. Ευχαριστούμε, κύριε Λοζίδου, για ακόμα μια φορά για την πρόσκληση. Είμαστε πάρα πολύ χαρούμενοι από το Υπουργείο Περιβάλλοντος που συμμετέχουμε για ακόμα μια χρονιά σε ένα αξιολογότατο συνέδριο που εύχομαι οι εργασίες του να στεφθούν με επιτυχία και να ανταποκριθούν στις προσδοκίες σας. Η ετήσια συνάντησή σας μας δίνει και τη δυνατότητα να βλέπουμε πώς πορευόμαστε, τι κάναμε την τελευταία χρονιά και τι έχουμε να κάνουμε την επόμενη. Οφείλω να σημειώσω τα εξής, ότι πριν από 7 χρόνια που η σημερινή κυβέρνηση ανέλαβε την εξουσία, ήταν ένα τοπίο το οποίο χαρακτήριζε τη χώρα κυρίως από τα πρόστιμα τα οποία πλήρωνε στην Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση με αποφάσεις του Ευρωπαϊκού Δικαστηρίου λόγω της κακής διαχείρισης των αποβλήτων. Το 2019 ήταν μόνο 3 υποδομές επεξεργασίας αποβλήτων σε λειτουργία και μόλις 5 σε κατασκευή. Το 2019 έτρεχε το χρηματοδοτικό πρόγραμμα του ΙΜΕΠΕΡΑ για την περίοδο 14-20, άρα μέχρι και το 23, και δεν υπήρχε άλλη προοπτική χρηματοδότησης από την Ευρωπαϊκή Επιτροπή για την επόμενη περίοδο. Οι δε απορροφήσεις ήταν αρκετά πενιχρές, με δεδομένο ότι όταν αναλάβαμε, πέρα από τα έργα τα οποία σας είπα, δεν υπήρχε κανένα άλλο σε διαγωνιστική διαδικασία. Υπήρχαν 80 φορείς που μπορούσαν να παίξουν το ρόλο του φόθσα. Προσέχτε, 80 φορείς που μπορούσαν να υποβάλουν προτάσεις και να διαχειριστούν υποδομές διαχείρισης αποβλήτων. Δεν υπήρχε καμία μέριμνα και κανένα σχεδιασμός για τη διαλογή στην πηγή. Δεν υπήρχε καθόλου στην ατζέντα η ενεργειακή αξιοποίηση. 7 χρόνια μετά, σήμερα που μιλάμε, έχουμε 14 υποδομές να λειτουργούν. 28 να κατασκευάζονται, 10 σε διαγωνιστική διαδικασία και 1 που θα βγει τις επόμενες μέρες, η τελευταία που θα αφορά το Βόρειο Αιγαίο. Και για να μην αφήσουμε και κάτι αφώτιστο, να έρθουμε και να πούμε ότι στις επόμενες λίγες πραγματικά μέρες θα ξεδιπλωθεί και το σχέδιο για την Αττική, όπου εκεί θα υπάρξουν και οι απαραίτητες αποφάσεις και καταθέσεις φακέλων έργων ΣΔΙΤ. Άρα το κομμάτι των υποδομών φαίνεται λίγο πολύ τελειώνει με την επιφύλαξη της Αττικής. Το κομμάτι της χωριστής συλλογής που η χώρα πόναγε, και θέλω να ρωτήσω όλους σας πώς θα αυξηθούν τα νούμερα στην ανακύκλωση αν δεν αυξηθούν οι υποδομές χωριστής συλλογής. Με τα ίδια απορριμματοφόρα σε αριθμό που είχαμε το 2015, πώς μπορούμε το 2025 να έχουμε διαφορετικά νούμερα συλλογής? Δεν υπάρχει. Και επειδή δεν υπήρχε κάποιο σχέδιο συγκροτημένο σε αυτό και ο καθένας έκανε ό,τι ήθελε χωρίς ιδιαίτερες αναλύσεις και χωρίς σοβαρές μελέτες και προσεγγίσεις, γι' αυτό υιοθετήθηκε σε συνεργασία με την Ευρωπαϊκή Επιτροπή και το Υπουργείο Οικονομίας. Είναι χαρά μας σήμερα που είναι ο Μαμαλούγκας ο Νίκος εδώ, ο Διευθυντής της Ειδικής Υπηρεσίας Διαχείρισης, που έχει ένα πάρα πολύ θετικό, ένα καθοριστικό ρόλο σε όλη αυτή την μετάβαση. Υιοθετήθηκε το ολιστικό σχέδιο χωριστής συλλογής για κάθε φόθησα. Σήμερα λοιπόν που μιλάμε έχουμε 13 ολιστικά σχέδια χωριστής συλλογής, ένα για κάθε περιφέρεια της χώρας, που αποτυπώνουν, αξιολογούν και κοστολογούν τον απαραίτητο εξοπλισμό ο οποίος χρειάζεται για να συλλεχθούν οι ποσότητες για να πιάσει η Ελλάδα τους στόχους σε κάθε ρεύμα. Τις επόμενες κυριολεκτικά μέρες το Υπουργείο Περιβάλλοντος θα βγάλει τη σχετική πρόσκληση προς τους φορείς. Είναι εξασφαλισμένη η χρηματοδότηση από τους πόρους του τέλους ταφής. Υπάρχουν τα χρήματα και επειδή είναι πολλοί πρόεδροι φώθησα εδώ, ξέρω ότι ετοιμάζονται προκειμένου και να καταθέσουν προτάσεις στις απόκτηση εξοπλισμού στο τέλος ταφής, αλλά και να καταθέσουν προτάσεις για την ομαλή χρηματοδότηση των υποδομών τους από το πρόγραμμα ΠΕΚΑ. Αυτή τη στιγμή το Υπουργείο κάνει μία προς μία συνάντηση με τους φορείς με στόχο όλες οι προτάσεις να κατατεθούν το 2026, οι περισσότερες δε από αυτές να εγκριθεί η χρηματοδότησή τους το 2026. Κοιτάω τον Μιχάλη τον Γεράνη, τον πρόεδρο του ΦΟΤΣΑ Κεντρικής Μακεδονίας, ο οποίος, αν δεν απατώμε, θα είναι η πρώτη μεγάλη μονάδα που θα κατατεθεί στο νέο πρόγραμμα, η οποία αφορά τον Ανατολικό τομέα Θεσσαλονίκης, που έχει προσωρινό ανάδοχο, άρα με γρήγορες διαδικασίες έγκρισης, με την πολύ καλή συνεργασία που έχουμε με το πρόγραμμα ΙΜΕΠΕΡΑ και τον Νίκο τον Μαμαλούγκα και τον αρμόδιο Γενικό Γραμματέα τον κύριο Σιαδήμα. Εκτιμώ, Μιχάλη, ότι μέσα στο φθινόπωρο θα υπάρχει η υπογραφή της σύμβασης. Προχθές, πριν από λίγες μέρες, βγήκε η ΑΕΠΟ του έργου. Συνεπώς, είναι κάτι που στην πράξη αποδεικνύεται ότι με την ενεργοποίηση της πρόσκλησης, στον κατάλληλο χρόνο, ορίμασαν καταρχήν όσα ήταν έτοιμα για χρηματοδότηση. Και ελπίζω η επόμενη φώθησα να μην αργήσουν, να το πάμε πολύ γρήγορα, ώστε να έχουμε τις περισσότερες εγκρίσεις το 2026. Αυτό τι θα πει? Θα πει ότι αν όλα πάνε καλά και έχουμε συμβασιοποιήσει το 2027, θα πει ότι το 30, με βάση τις συμβατικές υποχρεώσεις των διαγωνισμών, θα έχουμε τις μονάδες σε όλη τη χώρα. Το 30. Οι οποίες μονάδες θα είναι όλες μονάδες ανάκτησης και ανακύκλωσης, θα παράγουν και το περίφημο δευτερογενές καύσιμο, για το οποίο θα σας πω νεότερα σήμερα. Τώρα. Η μελέτη, η δική μας, ολοκληρώθηκε, η στρατηγική μελέτη περιβαλλοντικών επιπτώσεων, και κατατίθεται ή σήμερα ή αύριο η αδειοδότηση στην αρμόδια υπηρεσία για λήψη της περιβαλλοντικής αδειοδότησης. Παράλληλα, η χώρα ετοιμάζει και το φάκελο προς την Ευρωπαϊκή Επιτροπή για την ενίσχυση. Την ενίσχυση η οποία απαιτείται ώστε το gate fee των μονάδων αυτών να είναι τέτοιο που να μην επιβαρύνει ιδιαίτερα τους πολίτες. Και επειδή τα πέσδα τα οποία γίνονται δεν είναι μάλλον είναι πέσδα τα οποία αξιολογούν επιλογές και αναλύουν πλήρως το επενδυτικό και το λειτουργικό κόστος των φορέων τα επόμενα χρόνια, με τις τιμές των gate fee που λέει η δική μας μελέτη και τα νούμερα του υπολείμματος που λένε η ΦΟΤΣΑ, προκύπτει αυτό το οποίο έλεγα εγώ πάντοτε. Δεν το έλεγα βέβαια ως μάντης, το έλεγα γιατί είχα στοιχεία, ότι μία ή άλλη θα είναι το κόστος της διαχείρισης μέσων ΜΕΑ και ταφής από τη μια πλευρά και ενεργειακής αξιοποίησης από την άλλη. Αυτό τι σημαίνει? Σημαίνει ότι η Ελλάδα σταθερά πηγαίνει, αν όχι το 2030, το 31, το 32, να μηδενίσει ουσιαστικά την ταφή. Και αυτό είναι ένας πολύ μεγάλος άθλος που έχει γίνει σε συνεργασία με την αυτοδιοίκηση. Με την αυτοδιοίκηση συνεργαζόμαστε, διότι οι φορείς διαχείρισης αποβλήτων είναι φορείς της αυτοδιοίκησης. Τους εμπιστευτήκαμε, τους πιστοποιήσαμε με βάση δύσκολα κριτήρια της εποχής. 9/7 εκτός συγκλονιστικού απρόπτου θα πιστοποιηθεί και ο 14ος. Είναι μεγάλα βήματα αυτά. Μεγάλα βήματα. Και θα ανοίξουμε συζήτηση μαζί τους. Ενδεχομένως είναι πολύ σήμερα εδώ, υπάρχει και μια σχετική συζήτηση μεταξύ μας για να δούμε τι χρειάζεται να αυξήσουμε ακόμη περισσότερο το μοντέλο, την ενδυνάμωση των ΦΟΤΣΑ. Διότι τι θέλουμε? Θέλουμε οι ΦΟΤΣΑ να παίξουν και σημαντικό ρόλο στη συλλογή των χωριστών ρευμάτων για δήμους που αντικειμενικά δεν μπορούν. Περιφέρεια Ηπείρου, που τον πρόεδρο του ΦΟΤΣΑ τον βλέπω εδώ, είναι μπροστά σε αυτό. ΦΟΤΣΑ όπως και η Κεντρική Μακεδονία και η Ανατολική Μακεδονία που βλέπω εδώ και η Πελοπόννησος και το Νότιο Αιγαίο κινούνται προς αυτή την κατεύθυνση. Άρα θα κάνουμε μια συζήτηση μετά για να δούμε πώς θα αυξήσουμε το επίπεδο της επάρκειας για να μπορέσουν οι ΦΟΤΣΑ να αναλάβουν αυτή τη δουλειά. Ολιστικό έργο θα πει ένας φορέας χειρίζεται τη μονάδα επεξεργασίας, ιδανικά θα έπρεπε να κάνει και τη συλλογή. Διότι ακούστε, είχαμε περιπτώσεις και αναγκαστήκαμε εμείς ως Υπουργείο Περιβάλλοντος να επέμβουμε, που δεν θα έπρεπε, στην Άμφισσα. Φτιάξαν μια μονάδα και δεν διαχείριση βιοαποβλήτων και δεν είχαν φροντίσει τη συλλογή. Μα πόσο δύσκολο είναι κάποιος να σκεφτεί να δημοπρατήσει μαζί τη συλλογή και τη δημιουργία της μονάδος. Πάμε λοιπόν σε τέτοια μοντέλα, πάμε σε έναν τέτοιο δρόμο. Έχουμε διανύσει πολύ μεγάλο διάστημα, δεν έχουμε φτάσει στο τέλος, δεν είμαστε όμως μακριά. Και κλείνοντας, επειδή βρίσκομαι σε μια νησιωτική περιφέρεια, στην περιφέρεια του Νοτιού Αιγαίου που έχει τα περισσότερα και μεγάλα και μικρά νησιά της χώρας, με χαρά σας λέω ότι πλέον είμαστε στα τελευταία βήματα για μια πολύ σοβαρή δουλειά χωριστής συλλογής βιοαποβλήτων και ανακυκλωσίμων από δήμους κάτω των 10.000 κατοίκων. Η σχετική μελέτη έχει ολοκληρωθεί, βρισκόμαστε στις τελευταίες προσαρμογές της για να είναι υλοποιήσιμη και μάλιστα βρίσκομαι σε μια περιφέρεια που είχε την πρωτοπορία με το project της στήλου, το Zero Waste, να δείξει πώς μπορεί η διαχείριση των αποβλήτων να είναι στοιχείο προβολής του νησιού ως ένα νησί μηδενικών αποβλήτων. Λέω λοιπόν ότι να μας έχει καλά ο Θεός και να δουλέψει το πρόγραμμά μας σε 2 χρόνια από τώρα, 24 νησιά στη χώρα θα είναι μηδενικής, θα είναι zero waste. Με αυτές λοιπόν τις λίγες σκέψεις θέλω να σας ευχαριστήσω για ακόμα μια φορά για την πρόσκληση, να σας συγχαρώ για την πολύ σοβαρή δουλειά που κάνετε. Μαρία, πραγματικά σου αξίζουν και προσωπικά συγχαρητήρια και σε σένα και στους συνεργάτες σου, σε όλη την ομάδα που έχετε δημιουργήσει και κάθε χρόνο κάνετε ένα συνέδριο υψηλωτά του επίπεδου. Εύχομαι λοιπόν να πάνε όλα καλά. Οι φιλοξενούμενοι που έχουμε από το εξωτερικό να ζήσουν τις ομορφιές της πατρίδας και ειδικά της ΚΟ, και να εύχομαι καλή συνέχεια στις εργασίες του συνεδρίου σας. Να είστε καλά.
Ευχαριστώ πολύ, κύριε Γραφάκο, αγαπητέ Μανώλη. Πάντοτε η δική σου παρουσία δίνει μια άλλη διάσταση στο συνέδριό μας. Έχουμε το πολύ επιστημονικό συνέδριο, αλλά έχουμε και την αναγκαιότητα πώς θα λύσουμε τα προβλήματα των χωρών. Και αυτό εδώ ακούγεται και προχωράει και πιο πέρα και σε άλλες χώρες, μέσω από των επιστημονικών εργασιών που κάνουμε, τι case studies έχουμε και στην Ελλάδα. Αργήσαμε, αλλά τρέξαμε εκατοστάρι τα τελευταία χρόνια και νομίζω είμαστε προς το τέλος, τουλάχιστον μια καλύτερη εικόνα. Αυτό που πρέπει να εντατικοποιήσουμε είναι η διαλογή στην πηγή για να μπορέσουμε να πάρουμε τα καθαρά υλικά, αφού τώρα σταδιακά δημιουργούνται υποδομές που μπορούν να υποδεχθούν τα καθαρά υλικά. Ο επόμενος ομιλητής, ο Κώστας, παρακαλώ.
Καταρχήν, εκ μέρους της Οργανωτικής Επιτροπής, να ευχαριστήσουμε και εμείς, εκτός από το Γενικό, και όλους τους εκπροσώπους των ΦΟΤΣΑ που βρίσκονται σήμερα μαζί μας, ξεκινώντας φυσικά από τον Μιχάλη τον Γεράνη, τον πρόεδρο του ΦΟΤΣΑ Κεντρικής Μακεδονίας, αντιπρόεδρο της ΕΔΣΑ και πρεσβευτή των θέσεων της ΕΔΣΑ. Έχουμε φυσικά μαζί μας τον πρόεδρο του ΦΟΤΣΑ Πελοποννήσου, τον Γιάννη τον Σμυρνιώτη, μαζί με τον Νίκο τον Αγγελόπουλο. Ευχαριστούμε πολύ φυσικά τον Χρήστο τον Γαμβρούδη για όλη τη συνδρομή και τη βοήθειά του στην οργάνωση του συνεδρίου. Να ευχαριστήσουμε τον πρόεδρο της Διαμάθ, τον Γιώργο τον Παπαδόπουλο, τον εκπρόσωπο της Διάδημα, τον πρόεδρο του ΦΟΤΣΑ Υπήρου, τον Νίκο τον Γεωργάκο και φυσικά και τον Γιάννη τον Παπαγιάννη. Μπορεί να ξέχασα κάποιον. Το Δήμαρχο Νησίρου που είναι σήμερα μαζί μας, τον Χριστοφή τον Κοροναίο, τον πρόεδρο του ΠΑΣΕΠΕ, τον Χαράλαμπο τον Χαραλαμπίδη, και φυσικά και τον Νίκο τον Μαμαλούγκα που είναι σήμερα μαζί μας. Σας ευχαριστούμε πολύ για την παρουσία σας. Και για να καλέσουμε λοιπόν στο βήμα τον επόμενο ομιλητή, τον Χρήστο τον Γαμβρούδη, από τον ΦΟΤΣΑ που μας φιλοξενεί σήμερα εδώ στην ΚΟ.
Καλημέρα, ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ για την πρόσκληση. Είναι χαρά μας να σας έχουμε εδώ. Θα μου επιτρέψετε να κάνω την παρουσίαση στα αγγλικά, γιατί το project το οποίο θα σας μιλήσω είναι καλό να αρχίσει να μεταδίδεται και στην Ευρώπη και στον υπόλοιπο κόσμο. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to be here in Kos. I would like to thank the organizers for creating such an important today important platform for dialogue and cooperation. Today I will present the South Aegean Management Co-Boasting Program implemented by the South Aegean Waste Management Company. This is not simply a project for distributing composters. It is a practical circular economy program designed to help households manage organic waste at source and to show that such solutions can work even in complex island regions. The program is co-founded by the Operational Program Transport, Infrastructure, Environment and Sustainable Development 2014-2020 and will continue to be supported under the NSFR SPA 2021-27, focusing on bio-waste management actions at household level across the South Aegean region. The beneficiary is the region of South Aegean. The total budget is 12.1 million euros and the eligible budget is 9.8 million euros. The program combines three actions. First of all, the supply of equipment to households. awareness and communication campaigns are very important. And thirdly, the technical advisory services. The South Aegean region includes 24 municipalities across the Dodekanis and Cyclades. Out of these, 26 municipalities participate in this project, while the remaining municipalities implement their own local planning actions. Waste management here is organized island by island. Each island has different needs, infrastructure, logistics, and limitations. Tourism also creates a very big, strong seasonal pressure, while waste volumes increase 2 or 3 times during the summer months. This is why decentralized solutions, such as the program that I will show you, are so relevant for us. They reduce the need for collection and transport and allow citizens to become part of the solution. The program is based on clear planning assumptions. By 2030, municipal waste generated by the permanent population of South Aegean is estimated at approximately 176,658 tons per year. The program targets 45,055 households, and this corresponds around to 117,000 permanent residents. The expected frequency of use is 4 to 6 times per week, while diversion calculations is based on a conservative assumption of 0.4 kilograms of bio-waste per household per day. Based on this assumption, the program contributes, we want to contribute to the diversion of between 5 and 8% of the bio-waste generated by the permanent residents. To support the program, we have created a digital platform. Through this platform, the residents of South Aegean can apply online and select the composter that fits their needs, their household, a garden composter for homes with outdoor space, or a mechanical composter for apartments. The platform also allows and provides instructions, education material, and practical composting advice. This is especially useful in our islands because residents from our islands can access the same information and support regardless of where they live. Προχωράει. Προηγούμενη. Στην προηγούμενη διαφάνεια. Εδώ. The distribution strategy was one of the most critical parts of the program. The rollout started from 3 main data centers, 3 hubs, in Rhodes, in Kos, and in Syros. From this, distribution expands progressively to the remaining municipalities. Deliveries are grouped by islands in order to reduce all the unnecessary transport and minimize the environmental footprint of the distribution process. So far, the program has reached 24 municipalities with 23,864 composting units that have already been distributed and delivered to the residents. This shows that large-scale implementation is possible even in a complex island region like South Aegean. The mechanical composter is designed mainly for apartments and households without outdoor space. It is a compact indoor unit of around 2 liters, equipped with a carbon filter for odor-free operation, and it has an integrated weighting system. The machine works in a cycle of between 5 and 7 hours. During the cycle, food waste is dried and processed, reducing its volume by more than 80%. Residents can place fruit and vegetables, scraps, coffee grounds, and filters, tea bags, small food leftovers, bread, pasta, rice, and other soft organic kitchen residues. The garden composter is designed for houses and semi-detached houses with outdoor space. It has a capacity of 300 liters and follows the traditional composting process. The mixture of wet kitchen waste and dry garden material helps to create the stable compost that can be used for soil enrichment. This is a direct example of circular economy at household level. Organic waste does not leave, this is very important, that the organic waste does not leave the property as waste. It is transformed into a useful material and remains within the household cycle. Πάλι δεν δουλεύει. Equipment alone is not enough. If you want citizens to compost correctly and regularly, we need communication, education, and support. The program includes local media, radio, press, social media, and direct communication with the residents. We also organized field events on all islands. At these events, citizens receive the composter together with instructions, practical advice, and answer to their questions. Technical advisors are present on site, and this is what makes a real difference. The program also includes school activities, helping students to understand composting, recycling, and circular economy from an early age. So far, 14,752 garden composters have been delivered to single-family homes and semi-detached houses. By using a garden composter, households can manage organic waste directly at home. This, as I said, reduces the need for collection and transport while producing compost that can be returned to the soil. So the environmental benefit is practical, measurable, and local. So far, 9,112 mechanical composters also have been delivered. These units are especially important for, as I said, for apartments and households without outdoor space. Together, the garden and the mechanical composters represent 23,864 units already delivered. This shows that the program is not a small pilot action. It is a large-scale regional intervention designed to include both houses with gardens and apartments. Some data. This slide presents the first operational data from the mechanical composters. Each unit is registered through its serial number on the digital monitoring platform, as I said. This allows us to move beyond distribution and to measure actual household behavior. During the reporting period, 1,151 users were registered on the platform. Out of them, 547 were the active users. This gives us the first indication that equipment is becoming part of a household practice. The data also shows that in roads and zeros, users reach around 12 to 13 cycles per month, so they use at least three times per week the machines. Most importantly, the measurement bio-waste quantity per cycle ranges from about 1.02 to 1.19 kilograms, clearly above the design assumption of 0.4 kilograms. This confirms that the program is generating real bio-waste diversion supported by actual user data. The registration data shows that the program reaches different household types. Around 50% of the participants come from households from 2 or 3 members. Another 31 comes for 4-member households and 12 from 5 or more members. In terms of housing, the 65.6% live in a single-family houses with outdoor space, while the rest live in apartments and are served by the mechanical composters. This confirms that the program has a wide reach. It reaches different household sizes and both main housing types. The main conclusions are for us very clear. First, large-scale home composting is feasible in island regions. Second, the early diversion results show measurable environmental benefits. User behavior appears to be consistent across municipalities, which means that composting habits can be developed in different island communities. On-site training is very critical. When citizens receive practical guidance, they use the equipment with more confidence. And finally, monitoring is essential because it allows us to evaluate the results, improve the program, and make evidence-based decisions. The program combines logistics, technology, communication, and data. This combination is what makes it effective. The next steps focus on completion of the long-term impact. First, we will complete the equipment delivery to all municipalities in the next months. Second, we will continue collecting data more systematically in order to refine the diversion estimates and better understand long-term performance. We will keep citizens engaged through awareness campaigns, community events, and digital content. Our goal is not only the initial participation of the citizen, our goal is long-term behavioral change. So we want to share this project, this experience, as a model for other island and remote regions. To conclude, this program shows that circular economy can be practical, local, and citizen-driven. Organic waste is not only a problem to be managed, it is a resource that can be transformed into value. In South Aegean, this is happening island by island, municipality by municipality, and household by household. For us, the program is not only about the waste reduction, it is moving from disposal to prevention and from organic waste to circular value. Thank you very much for your attention.
Ευχαριστούμε τον κύριο Γαβρούδη. Νομίζω έχετε κάνει πάρα πολλή δουλειά για τη διαλογή στην πηγή και τα οργανικά. Πολύ πρέπει να το κάνουμε. Θα σας πω ότι και στην Κύπρο άρχισε μια εφαρμογή σε μικρές κοινότητες, σε περιοχές που υπάρχουν λιγότερα από 150 σπίτια, να πάνε στην οικιακή κομποστοποίηση και νομίζω δουλεύει αρκετά καλά. Να παραμείνω στην Κύπρο. Θα είχαμε μαζί μας αυτή τη στιγμή την κυρία Κωνσταντινίδου εν ώψη και της Προεδρίας της Κύπρου να μας πει για τη στρατηγική της βιοοικονομίας, τα αποτελέσματα του Συμβουλίου. Είναι στη Βουλή αυτή τη στιγμή, θα εμφανιστεί αργότερα διαδικτυακά και θα προχωρήσουμε με τον κύριο Γεράνη. Κύριε Γεράνη, the floor is yours.
Καλημέρα σας. Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ για την πρόσκληση και νιώθω την υποχρέωση, κυρία Λοϊζίδου, αγαπητέ φίλε Κώστα Μουστάκα, να σας συγχαρώ για ακόμη μια φορά, γιατί για όλα τα επιτυχημένα αυτά επιστημονικά συνέδρια για 13η φορά σήμερα, το 13ο συνέδριο δεν είναι το επιστημονικό, δεν κάνω λάθος. Αγαπητοί συνάδελφοι στην αυτοδιοίκηση, αγαπητοί δήμαρχοι, πρόεδροι, κύριε Γενική Γραμματέα, κύριε Προϊστάμενης Διαχειρικής Αρχής, φίλες και φίλοι, αγαπητοί συνεργάτες του Φως Δακεδικής Μακεδονίας, αγαπητοί προσκεκλημένοι από το εξωτερικό. Όλα αυτά λοιπόν, όλα αυτά τα χρόνια, αλλά και σε άλλα φόρα, προσπαθούμε να τα βάλουμε σε μια σειρά στη χώρα μας, ώστε πραγματικά, γιατί το θέμα μου είναι από τη θεωρία στην πράξη κυκλική οικονομία και ακούγοντας κάποια πράγματα από τον Γενικό Γραμματέα, σημείωσα έτσι πολύ περιγραφικά κάποια πράγματα, το πώς μπορούμε να γίνει πράξη από τη θεωρία να περάσουμε στην πράξη. Μία σειρά πραγμάτων είναι αυτά που ανέφερε ο Γενικός Γραμματέας για όλη την Ελλάδα. Τα έργα μας. Είμαστε στην ευχάριστη θέση στην Κεντρική Μακεδονία με τα δύο εμβληματικά αυτά έργα να δώσουμε τις λύσεις μαζί με το έργο που λειτουργεί στην Περιφερειακή Ένωση Σερών. Δώσαμε μεγάλο αγώνα για να καταφέρουμε να φτάσουμε σε αυτή την φάση, στην κοντινή, για να μπορέσουμε να υλοποιήσουμε τα έργα. Είναι αλήθεια ότι η αυτοδιοίκηση με όλα αυτά τα οποία περνάει, που είναι ο βασικός μοχλός για να περάσουμε από τη θεωρία στην πράξη. Ο βασικός βραχίωνας είναι η τοπική αυτοδιοίκηση. Βλέπουμε ότι έχουν αλλάξει κάποια πράγματα στη χώρα τα τελευταία χρόνια. Έχει θωρακιστεί θεσμικά, έχουμε ψηφίσει νόμους, έχουμε προχωρήσει, έχουμε κάνει σημαντικά βήματα. Δεν αρκεί όμως αυτό. Και όλα αυτά τα οποία ακούσαμε προηγουμένως που είναι σωστά, ένα άλλο από τον Γενικό Γραμματέα, ένα άλλο πέρα από τα χρηματοδοτικά εργαλεία, εάν δεν γίνει, αν δεν μπει μέσα στο πετσί μας του καθενός και της καθεμιάς στην Ελλάδα ότι πρέπει να πράξουμε το σωστό, να είμαστε πειθαρχημένοι από τη στιγμή που βλέπουμε τα απόβλητα έως πόρο και ότι πρέπει να γίνουν τα απόβλητα μέρος μιας οικονομικής και περιβαλλοντολογικής αλυσίδας, ο πολίτης είναι αυτός που θα πρέπει να πράξει το σωστό για να προχωρήσουμε από τη θεωρία στην πράξη. Τα ερευνητικά συνέδρια, αυτά που κάνετε συνεχώς εσείς και πάρα πολλοί άλλοι, τα έχουμε ακούσει πολλά χρόνια. Ήρθε η ώρα, φίλες και φίλοι, αυτό να γίνει πράξη. Δυστυχώς, τους τελευταίους μήνες βλέπουμε θέμα ότι υπάρχει στη χώρα με τα ανακυκλώσιμα, τα υλικά συσκευασίας. Αυτό είναι θέμα. Δηλαδή κάνουμε 10 βήματα και φτάνουμε σε ένα σημείο να λέμε, αφού κάναμε τα 10 βήματα, τώρα τι γίνεται. Υπάρχει θέμα με τα ανακυκλώσιμα στην Ελλάδα σήμερα. Ευελπιστούμε να δοθεί λύση. Ευελπιστούμε να δοθεί λύση. Άλλος βασικός βραχίωνας είναι ο ψηφιακός μετασχηματισμός για να περάσουμε. Στο φως της Κεντρικής Μακεδονίας θα έχουμε πάει καλά. Και άλλη φώσδα σε όλη την Ελλάδα, να μην λέμε μόνο για το δικό μας το σπίτι, για το φως της Κεντρικής Μακεδονίας, ο ψηφιακός μετασχηματισμός. Είναι σημαντικό δηλαδή, σημαντικό βήμα για να περάσουμε από τη θεωρία στην πράξη, στην κυκλική οικονομία. Χάρηκα ιδιαιτέρως που άκουσα τον Γενικό Γραμματέα, τον φίλο του Μανώλη τον Γραφάκο, που δεν θα γίνει φορομπηκτικός μηχανισμός η αυτοδιοίκηση για να ανεβάζει τα τέλη, ούτως ώστε όταν υλοποιηθούν τα εργοστάσια ενεργειακής αξιοποίησης, το υπόλοιμα να μην χρειάζεται να παίρνουν χρήματα, να δίνουν και άλλα χρήματα οι πολίτες. Και ειδικά, φίλες και φίλοι, σήμερα, σε μια κατάσταση που ζούμε, που ένα μεγάλο ποσοστό της κοινωνίας μας δεν μπορεί να τα καταφέρει. Και είναι μεγάλο το ποσοστό. Άρα, δηλαδή, εμείς ως αυτοδιοίκηση είμαστε υποχρεωμένοι. Αυτό ήταν και στα σχέδια και στο όραμα και προσωπικό το δικό μου, πρωτού πολλά χρόνια, όταν είπαμε στην πολιτεία την εγνατία διαχείριση αποβλήτων. Με 0 κόστος το υπόλοιμα. Να βρει τον τρόπο η πολιτεία να μην έχει κόστος το ΑΣΕΡΕΦ το RDF που θα πάνε να γίνουν στις 6 μονάδες που τρέξαν πάρα πολύ γρήγορα και καλώς κάνανε. Και σε αυτήν εδώ τη χρονική περίοδο που έχουμε και το τέλος ταφής, δεν το έχουμε κακώς, καλώς το έχουμε, ασχέτως που δεν έχουμε πιο μπροστά τα εργαλεία, τις μονάδες δηλαδή. Αλλά δεν φταίει η σημερινή κυβέρνηση γι' αυτό, από το 2011 ισχύει το τέλος ταφής, το 2011. Τα λέω όλα αυτά για να καταλάβουμε ότι στη θεωρία μπορεί να λέμε τόσα χρήματα. Οι πολίτες δεν αντέχουν ιδιαίτερα. Άρα, φτάνοντας, για να φτάσουμε στην πράξη, από τη θεωρία στην πράξη στην κυκλική οικονομία, όλα τα εργαλεία δίνονται, όλα τα εμβληματικά έργα, χωριστή διαλογή. Αυτό που θα πρέπει όμως να γίνει, να το κάνει ευχάριστο ο πολίτης, να είναι αυτοματοποιημένα πειθαρχημένος για τη διαλογή στην πηγή. Ενημέρωση και ευαισθητοποίηση, βρίσκει τα εργαλεία να προχωρήσουμε πραγματικά στον δρόμο της κυκλικής οικονομίας, γιατί δεν υπάρχει κι άλλη διέξοδος αν θέλουμε να λεγόμαστε πλέον μια αναπτυγμένη ευρωπαϊκή χώρα, που βασικό δίκτυο μια αναπτυγμένη ευρωπαϊκή χώρα έχει τη διαχείριση των απορριμμάτων. Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ, να είστε καλά.
Ευχαριστώ κύριε Γεράνη. Πραγματικά κάνουμε συνέδρια. Θα πω στις άλλες 5 αίθουσες που τρέχουν παράλληλα. Εκεί παρουσιάζονται όλα τα έργα που γίνονται ερευνητικά κυρίως, αλλά όχι στον πάγκο, και έργα τα οποία έχουν και εφαρμογές. Θα πω όμως και στην Ελλάδα, και κύριε Γραφάκο, θέλουμε τη στήριξή σας και θέλουμε τη στήριξη όλων των ΦΟΣΔΑ για να στηρίξουμε, πάμε ένα βήμα προς. Θα ήθελα να έρθετε μια μέρα στο Τεχνολογικό Πάρκο Λαυρίου, στο Πολυτεχνείο, μαζί με το Δήμο Λαυρίου, στήσαμε ένα βιοδηληστήριο. Τι θέλουμε να δείξουμε? Ότι τα βιοαπόβλητα που είναι το 45% και τα δουλεύουν τα τελευταία 50 χρόνια, να τους δώσω μια μεγαλύτερη αξία. Η αναερόβια χώνευση είναι μια καλή δουλειά, αλλά δεν είναι η μοναδική. Έχουμε αξίες πριν την αναερόβια και μετά την αναερόβια. Θα ήθελα η χώρα, όπως το 2010, η Κομισιόν μέσα από το Ταμείο Συνοχής, και ο κ. Μαμαλούκας είναι εδώ να τα κουβεντιάσουμε, να δείξουμε στην Ευρώπη ότι η χώρα μπορεί να κάνει ένα breakthrough για την Ευρώπη ολόκληρη. Και τότε ήθελα να κάνουμε ένα gasification για τη Μύκονο. Τα στήσαμε όλα και δυστυχώς ο Δήμος Μυκόνου δεν βρήκε οικόπεδο. Και θα φέρουμε μια νέα τεχνολογία για την Ευρώπη. Ας φέρουμε αυτές τις τεχνολογίες τις καινούργιες που συζητάμε όλα αυτά τα χρόνια και είμαστε pioneers. Είχαμε τον κοινοτικό πριν από λίγο. Έχει χρηματοδοτήσει πάρα πολλά έργα. Να τρέξουμε όλοι οι επιστήμονες της χώρας που δουλεύουμε σε αυτό το πεδίο να κάνουμε κάτι σημαντικό για την Ευρώπη και τη χώρα. Και επειδή το θέλω να το δούμε να γίνεται έτσι άμεσα, είμαστε δίπλα σας να τα τρέξουμε. Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ. Θα ήθελα να παρακαλέσω τον κύριο Κοροναίο. Ο κύριος Κοροναίος, όπως είπα και πριν, ήρθε από την Αμερική με την επιστροφή των επιστημόνων. Ήταν στο δικό μου εργαστήριο πάρα πολλά χρόνια και τώρα είναι ο Δήμαρχος Νησήρου. Κύριε Δήμαρχε, ελπίζω να μεταφέρατε αυτά που κάναμε στο Πολυτεχνείο στην Ίσυρο. Εμείς είμαστε απόντες πάντως. Ευχαριστώ. Έχετε το λόγο.
Καλησπέρα σε όλους. Ευχαριστώ, Μαρία. Δεν νομίζω ότι μπορώ να μεταφέρω σε 10 λεπτά που έχω 15. Αλλά θα τα πούμε με τον χρόνο. Η ομιλία μου είναι στα αγγλικά. Θα μιλήσω στα ελληνικά, υποθέτω. Το θέμα μου είναι η διαχείριση στερεών αποβλήτων στην Νήσυρο. Η Νήσυρος είναι ένα μικρό νησί. Πώς πάει αυτό εδώ πέρα? Την μεγάλη τιμή να είμαστε γεωπάρκα, όμως αυτό μας δίνει μια μεγάλη ευθύνη που αφορά την προστασία του περιβάλλοντος. Και αυτό είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό για την Νήσυρο, στο να μπορέσουμε να διατηρήσουμε το περιβάλλον που έχουμε και να το προστατεύσουμε με τον καλύτερο τρόπο. Και η διαχείριση στερεών αποβλήτων παίζει σημαντικό ρόλο στην προστασία του περιβάλλοντος. Ένα μεγάλο πρόβλημα που αντιμετωπίζει κανείς σε όλα τα μικρά νησιά είναι το γεγονός ότι έχουμε ένα περιβάλλον το οποίο είναι πάρα πολύ ευαίσθητο. Έχουμε οικονομία που είναι βασισμένη στον τουρισμό, όχι μόνο στην Ίσο και σε όλα τα μικρά νησιά, και θα πρέπει να ανταπεξέλθουμε τα προβλήματα που αντιμετωπίζουμε με την νησιωτικότητα. Η νησιωτικότητα είναι ένας όρος ο οποίος χρησιμοποιείται ευρέως, ιδιαίτερα τα τελευταία χρόνια, και έχει να κάνει με την απομόνωση των νησιών, όπως είναι η Νήσιος και όλα τα μικρά νησιά, με την αύξηση του τουρισμού και την αλλαγή του πληθυσμού ανάλογα με τους μήνες, με την μικρή επιφάνεια που έχουν, άρα δεν έχουμε μεγάλη επιφάνεια γης για να χρησιμοποιήσουμε για τη διαχείριση αποβλήτων και φυσικά με το μεγάλο κόστος μεταφοράς. Αυτά είναι θέματα που αφορούν όλα τα μικρά νησιά και όχι μόνο την Ίσυρο. Δεν κινείται αυτό το πράγμα πάλι. Συγγνώμη. Και άλλη μία. Συγγνώμη, αλλά υπάρχει και θέμα. Εδώ είναι το γεωπάρκο που βλέπετε της Ίσυρου που περιλαμβάνει και όλα τα μικρά νησιά. Είναι 480 τετραγωνικά χιλιόμετρα, το οποίο έχει αναγνωριστεί από την UNESCO. Μπορεί κάποιος... Ωραία. Λοιπόν, τα στερεά απόβλητα που παράγονται στην Ίσυρο και επαναλαμβάνω και σε όλα τα μικρά νησιά είναι κυρίως από τα σπίτια, από τα ξενοδοχεία, από τα εστιατόρια. Δεν ξέρω τι έγινε τώρα. Παλιώστε πίσω. Και από διάφορες από τις δημόσιες υπηρεσίες, οι οποίες είναι βέβαια πάρα πολύ μικρά, περισσότερο είναι από τα σπίτια και από τα εστιατόρια και από τα ξενοδοχεία. Στην Ίσυρο, συγγνώμη, υπάρχει θέμα εδώ πέρα. Η διακύμανση των στερεών αποβλήτων που το βλέπετε είναι στους μήνες, ανά μήνα είναι η μεγαλύτερη παραγωγή στερεών αποβλήτων είναι το μήνα Αύγουστο που φτάνει στα 71 τόνους το μήνα και κατεβαίνει. Πήγαινε πίσω πάλι. Και το μήνα Γενάρη είναι 47 και τον Δεκέμβρη πάλι 48. Άρα εδώ έχουμε μια διακύμανση στερεών αποβλήτων κατά τη διάρκεια του έτους, τα οποία αυτά τα στερεά απόβλητα μπορεί να το αλλάξετε το επόμενο. Περιλαμβάνουν κυρίως οργανικά, ένα ποσοστό 42,6%, χαρτί, το επόμενο μεγάλο ποσοστό, πλαστικό, μέταλλα, γυαλί, ξύλα και διάφορα άλλα στοιχεία τα οποία περιλαμβάνονται. Στο επόμενο. Στην Ίσυρο εμείς χρησιμοποιούμε υπόγειους κάδους, τους βλέπετε εδώ πέρα, είναι οι κάδοι οι οποίοι συμβάλλουν πάρα πολύ στο να κρατάμε το νησί καθαρό, διότι κρατάει πολύ περισσότερο, έχει πολύ περισσότερο χώρο για να αποθηκεύσουν τα απορρίμματα και ταυτόχρονα δεν δημιουργούνται οσμές. Έχουμε ηλεκτρικά οχήματα τα οποία μικρά πηγαίνουμε στους οικισμούς, στον οικισμό κυρίως στο Μαδράκι και μαζεύει τα σκουπίδια το πρωί από κάθε σπίτι και τα μεταφέρει στο μεγάλο φορτηγό που πηγαίνουν στα χιτά ή στην ανακύκλωση. Έχουμε το μεγάλο πρόβλημα που αντιμετωπίζουμε φυσικά, όπως αναφέρθηκε και πριν στην Ίσυρο, μπορούμε να τα χωρίσουμε σε 4 κατηγορίες: τεχνικά προβλήματα, περιβαλλοντικά, οικονομικά και κοινωνικά. Δεν έχουμε μεγάλες μονάδες διαχείρισης στερεών αποβλήτων. Όπως επαναλαμβάνω, το σύστημά μας είναι πολύ εύθραυστο περιβαλλοντικά και απαιτείται τεράστιο κόστος διαχείρισης των αποβλήτων λόγω της μικρής ποσότητας τα οποία πρέπει να διαχειριστούμε. Ο στόχος φυσικά είναι η προστασία του περιβάλλοντος, η κυκλική οικονομία, η ανάπτυξη αποδοτικότητας στη χρήση των πρώτων υλών, η κλιματική αλλαγή και η καλύτερη της ποιότητας της ζωής. Εδώ υπάρχει το γνωστό διάγραμμα της ιεραρχίας των αποβλήτων που ξεκινάμε από είναι στα αγγλικά prevention, reuse, recycling, recovery και disposal και ο στόχος μας είναι βέβαια να έχουμε όσο γίνεται το δυνατόν λιγότερη εναπόθεση αποβλήτων στα χιτά. Και μια και μιλάμε για χιτά, εμείς έχουμε συμβληθεί με τον Φώσδα και από φέτος ξεκινά μια καινούργια περίοδος για την Ίσο, θα έλεγα πολύ καλύτερη για την διαχείριση των αποβλήτων σε συνεργασία με τον Φώσδα του Αιγαίου. Εμείς τώρα έχουμε τη δυνατότητα και ανακυκλώνουμε χαρτί, πλαστικό, γυαλί και μέταλλα. Έχουμε στο Δήμο μας συμπιεστικά μηχανήματα που ψηφιάζουν το χαρτί και το πλαστικό και το κάνουν σε παλέτες 1 τόνου. Και έχουμε και ένα μηχάνημα το οποίο παίρνει το γυαλί και το μετατρέπει σε σκόνη και το οποίο αυτό αναμειγνύεται με τα οικοδομικά υλικά. Αυτό βοηθάει πάρα πολύ. Πιστεύω με το φως θα απτυχθεί περισσότερο ακόμη η ανακύκλωση. Αυτό που απαιτείται είναι μεγαλύτερη ευαισθητοποίηση της κοινωνίας και εκεί υπάρχει τεράστιο θέμα και φυσικά τη δυνατότητα να συμβάλλουν και περισσότερο τα σχολεία. Όσον αφορά τη διαχείριση των αποβλήτων των οργανικών, όπως ανέφερε και ο πρόεδρος του Φόρου του Αιγαίου, έχουμε πάρει κάδους για composting, όπου το οργανικό μέσω του composting μετατρέπεται σε compost και μπορεί να χρησιμοποιηθεί βέβαια στους κήπους ή οπουδήποτε αλλού που μπορεί να χρησιμοποιήσει κανείς. Μεγάλη επίπτωση των σωρών αποβλήτων στην κλιματική αλλαγή αφορά τη μεταφορά αποβλήτων, το μεθάνιο που εκρίνεται από τα χιτά και από την συλλογή των αποβλήτων. Η δυνατότητα ελαχιστοποίησης των επιπτώσεων στην περιβαλλοντική αλλαγή αφορά το κομπόστ, την ανακύκλωση και την διαχείριση εσωτερικά. Εδώ έχω τον τύπο που μπορεί να υπολογίσει κανείς τις εκπομπές διοξειδίου του άνθρακα ανάλογα με το τι τρόπο διαχείρισης χρησιμοποιούμε. Και πάω παρακάτω, κάνω μια μικρή αναφορά σε ένα σημαντικό εργαλείο, θα έλεγα το πιο δυνατό εργαλείο, για να μπορούμε να δούμε τι θα χρησιμοποιήσουμε για τη διαχείριση αποβλήτων, την ανάλυση κύκλου ζωής, όπου είναι ένα εργαλείο που μας δίνει τη δυνατότητα να αναλύσουμε όλες τις μεθόδους και να βρούμε την κατάλληλη μέθοδο ανάλογα με την περιοχή που βρισκόμαστε και το νησί. Και εδώ μπορούμε κανείς να αναλύσει την επιπτώση των περιβάλλων ανάλογα με την κλιματική αλλαγή, global warming potential, energy, χρήση ενέργειας, resource depletion, water footprint. Είναι μια μαγειριακόστιμη τεχνολογία που χρησιμοποιείται πολύ στο εργαστήριο και έχει τεράστιες δυνατότητες. Και αυτό είναι το διάγραμμα της ανάλυσης κύκλου ζωής. Δεν θα αναφερθώ αναλυτικά στο κάθε ένα από τα στάδια, γιατί ξεφεύγει του θέματος, αλλά θεωρώ με την ανάλυση αυτή μπορεί κανείς να έχει ακριβή στοιχεία όσον αφορά τις περιβαλλοντικές επιπτώσεις. Θεωρώ ότι για να μπορέσει ένα μικρό νησί όπως η Νήσιρος να έχει καλύτερη διαχείριση αποβλήτων, απαιτείται μια συνεργασία με άλλα νησιά. Εμείς είμαστε πολύ κοντά στην Κο, στην Τήλου, στην Αστυπάλαια και ούτω καθεξής. Θα μπορούσε να υπάρχει ένας κεντρικός χώρος διαχείρισης των αποβλήτων, αντί να υπάρχουν χώροι διαχείρισης αποβλήτων σε κάθε ένα νησί. Και αυτό γιατί θα μπορέσει να έχουμε ένα χώρο ο οποίος θα έχει πολύ ανεπτυγμένη τεχνολογία, θα απαιτείται λιγότερο κόστος και αυξάνει πολύ την αποδοτικότητα της διαχείρισης των αποβλήτων. Και εάν μπορούμε να χρησιμοποιήσουμε αυτή τη συνεργασία των νησιών, θεωρώ ότι η χρήση θερμικών επεξεργασιών όπως είναι η καύση, η αεριοποίηση, η πυρόληση και η αναερόβια χορεύση είναι τα στοιχεία τα οποία θα βοηθήσουν τα μέγιστα. Αυτά δεν μπορούν να γίνουν σε κάθε ένα νησί χωριστά. Χρήστο, το αντιλαμβάνεσαι. Μόνο σε κεντρικά νησιά τα οποία θα δέχονται τα απόβλητα από κάθε ένα νησί. Ο στόχος μας για το 2030 είναι να ελαχιστοποιήσουμε τα απορρίμματα στο χιτά, να αυξήσουμε την ανακύκλωση, να ολοκληρώσουμε μαζί με το φως την διαχείριση των οργανικών αποβλήτων, η επαναχρησιμοποίηση και να ελαττώσουμε βέβαια το carbon footprint. Εδώ έχω μια αναφορά στην κυκλική οικονομία και επειδή αντιλαμβάνεστε ότι το μεγαλύτερο στην διαχείριση αποβλήτων, η μεγαλύτερη επίπτωση των προϊόντων είναι στο τέλος του κύκλου ζωής του προϊόντος. Έχουν την παραγωγή, τη χρήση και την απόρριψη. Άρα, στο στάδιο της απόρριψης είναι η μεγαλύτερη περιβαλλοντική επίπτωση. Άρα, εδώ απαιτείται μεγαλύτερη προσπάθεια για οικολογικό σχεδιασμό των συσκευών που χρησιμοποιούνται για τα μεταφορά των τροφών. Απαιτείται διαλογή στην πηγή, διαλογή των οργανικών, τεχνολογίες οι οποίες θα μπορούσαν να χρησιμοποιήσουν την διαχείριση των διαφόρων αποβλήτων, κυκλική οικονομία βέβαια και συνεργασία μεταξύ των νησιών. Αυτό θεωρώ ότι είναι καθοριστικός παράγοντας. Και τελειώντας να πω ότι από ένα μικρό νησί μπορεί να αποτελέσει ένα εργαστήριο, ένα σοβαρό εργαστήριο διαχείρισης αποβλήτων και να μπορέσει να αποτελέσει, όπως ανέφερε πριν και ο Γενικός Γραμματέας, όπως η Τήλος αποτελεί ένα παράδειγμα διαχείρισης αποβλήτων. Εάν μπορούσε να γίνει όλα τα νησιά προς αυτή η κατεύθυνση, θα βοηθήσει τα μέγιστα. Τελειώνοντας να πω ότι η διαχείριση αποβλήτων αποτελεί κεντρικό στοιχείο για την ανάπτυξη των νησιών. Η κυκλική οικονομία είναι ένα εργαλείο το οποίο θα πρέπει να οδηγηθεί όλα τα νησιά μας. Η μεταφορά τεχνολογίας και η δυνατότητα των κατοίκων να συμβάλλουν στην διαχείριση αποβλήτων παίξει καθοριστικό ρόλο και εμείς στην Ίσο είμαστε διατεθειμένοι να βοηθήσουμε τα μέγιστα για να έχουμε μια οικονομία η οποία θα είναι βασισμένη στην κυκλική οικονομία. Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Ευχαριστώ κύριε Κορονέ, ευχαριστώ Χριστοφή για την ωραία παρουσίαση και στα εργαλεία τα οποία πρέπει να χρησιμοποιούμε όταν επιλέγουμε τεχνολογίες, προς ποια κατεύθυνση πρέπει να πάμε. Η ανάλυση κύκλου ζωής είναι πολύ σημαντική. Χθες και προχθές κάναμε ένα σεμινάριο 2 ημερών και πήραμε πολλούς φοιτητές από το εξωτερικό και την Ελλάδα να τους δείξουμε την ανάλυση κύκλου ζωής στη διαδικασία διαχείρισης των αποβλήτων. Και είναι ένα summer school, όπως λέμε. Το ένα είναι η κυκλικής οικονομίας και το άλλο η ανάλυση κύκλου ζωής. Να τρέχουν παράλληλα με το συνέδριο, πριν ξεκινήσει το συνέδριο, 2 μέρες να τρέχουν αυτά τα σεμινάρια, τα οποία τα θεωρούμε πάρα πολύ σημαντικά.